Should we make up a tune? Remember Adam said that we need a jingle.
Welcome!
Praise the Pickle!
I'm going to chop that down and EQ it and make it sound sick.
Remember Adam said that we need a jingle.
Cool. Yeah, everything's set up on this side, so we're good to go whenever you are, Ben. Let's just have a few seconds of silence first, though.
What, to remember who?
No, we just got. I think we should just do it from the start, man. So cutting down the start. But anyway, right. Everyone ready? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Excellent. Howdy, everybody, and welcome to the Praise the Pickle podcast. Yeah. So I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend, and yeah, we're going to talk about some games and all that jazz, and it's going to be fun for all, I'm sure. Classic, yeah. So sorry for not introducing myself last week. I re-listened to it and realised that I didn't mention my own name when introducing the other two. So my name is Benjamin Watts, or just Ben, or any variation of Ben. And I have with me Mr. Balls of Steel, who once tried to impress a bunch of girls by bombing it down a hill on a scooter only to hit a tree. Daniel Watts.
Thanks for
Very
that.
long name.
Yep.
That's a wonderful memory.
It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
I was in hospital next to a load of people that were in motorbike accidents, for God's sake.
The funniest thing about that, right, was that Mum didn't want to ruin my holiday, so she took me swimming and was like, "Don't tell Dan because he'll get really upset because he can't go swimming because he's covered in bandages."
Yeah. She eventually made me watch anyway.
But did you get any of their numbers?
No, I was about 12.
Oh well, it was not
Wasn't
worth
a
it.
pickup artist back then.
Still wasn't a player back then.
Anyway, yes, that's Daniel, and then
Greetings.
I also have the man on a quest for fame and fortune. He thought it would be amazing to get a picture of himself pointing at the camera on a really fast roller coaster. All right, and then only to face the wrong way, resulting in the goofiest picture of all time. Kevin Hart.
That's me. Let's not clap that moment, shall we? Let's move on.
I will post a picture on Twitter because it's great. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to kick this off with our top 5 gaming moments. And I think this week, Mr. Hart is going to start it off. And they're going to be in order, aren't they,
They
Kevin?
are in order, don't worry about that one.
Oh my god.
Cool.
All right, go.
So, my first is one that you'll probably remember, Ben.
Oh god.
When we spent hours and hours and hours trying to beat that boss on Bloodborne.
Which boss was it?
The one on top of the church. That big dude who he had like two modes and one of them
Oh
was
shit! Yeah. Oh my god.
And
no, I was. Yeah.
just
Go on.
endless hours of trying to beat him, and the moment that we finally got him down and we killed him was just, not only was it satisfying knowing that we could actually carry on with the game,
Yeah.
but for the fact that we don't have to just continuously days after days try and beat this boss. And
yeah, I was trying to think of a moment in Bloodborne because I knew there were some. I just couldn't think of a specific one, so it wasn't on my list.
yeah, that's definitely that's definitely up there with my one.
Yeah, he was a pickle, that guy, man. Didn't we get really close and then fall off the edge or something?
I think at one point, yeah, that was definitely the moment of you, and so much anger.
The rage. The rage. Cool, go on then, Dan.
Okay, my first one also involves you, Ben.
Oh god.
Time Splitters, Future Perfect.
No way.
So Time Splitters Future Perfect had like a map creator mode, and it was pretty cool because you could like build some environments and set triggers up so you walk over a certain thing and the door opens or whatever, and you could spawn enemies in. So Ben had no idea what was coming, and I built a map which was essentially a multi-story car park. And you walk into this really dark floor, and out of nowhere, thousands and thousands of giant, screaming gingerbread men holding baseball bats come running at you from every angle and chase you down.
It was
the look on your face.
That was the all right, I might as well go on to my one. So my number 5 is a game that I played with you, Dan. Time Splitters Future Perfect.
Amazing.
Gingerbread Men.
Yes.
So it was. I
brilliant.
just remember being in a room upstairs, and you basically made this car park so tall that it took such a long time for these gingerbread men to get to the top. So
yeah, you could just like.
So you spawned me in this
Here's
room with
something
loads of
happening.
weapons and stuff. I was like, great, cool, weapons are cool. I grab all the weapons, walk out, and there's just no one there, and I'm like, right. And then I look down, like, you know where like the cars go up, like the ramps, and there's like a gap in, like a big hole in the middle sort of thing. I look down this hole and I just see thousands of gingerbread men just running up towards me with baseball bats. Oh my lord, that was fantastic.
Brilliant. I'm so glad we both had that.
Yeah, it had to be on there, man. Right, Kevlar, up to you again.
This is one that you guys will probably bash me at, but I don't care.
Oh, I swear to God, FIFA.
When on last FIFA, my favourite game mode on anything ever being clubs, when me and my mates all won Division 1. It was a long grind. We did it all together.
Yeah, man.
We finally did it. We beat everyone. And it was a moment that we all came together, and it was glorious.
I have a question. What is Division 1?
It's the highest division you can get.
Is that where like Manchester United are?
Let's move on.
No, I'm asking if it's the highest division. Is that not like
Yes,
like Premier League?
Manchester United in Division 1. Yes, Ben, that's correct.
It doesn't work like that. Okay, that's why I'm saying we move on. Okay, it's too long.
man.
Is it what's relegation?
You're just being an idiot.
God.
No, I know because I know relegation. You move down, right?
you
But
don't.
what do you move down? Yeah, but what are you moving down? The
From
divisions or
one
the other
division
one?
to another.
Ben, now's not the time to be learning the rules of football.
Okay, all right, fine. Another time.
We'll teach you offside next episode.
Little by little, we'll get there.
Okay, all right, cool. You won Division 1. Great.
Thank you.
Dan?
I think going on the same path.
God.
Playing at college, we managed to get Quake and Warcraft, potentially Warcraft 2, one of the Warcraft games, set up in the computer lab, and we just had hours and hours of playing tournaments and setting up ladders and all sorts in our lunch breaks. I failed that course horrendously for some unknown reason.
And now you work in IT, right?
And now I do work in IT.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a strange turn of events, but yeah, we had some great times just getting together and screaming across the classroom and running around and celebrating. And yeah, it was
Good old Quake days, man.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
Right, so my number 4 is the finale of Soma.
That was scary.
Interesting.
It's pretty scary, yeah. But it's basically like a psychological game, and there's this point, I'm not going to spoil it, don't worry. There's this point at the end where there's just sudden basically you do something halfway through the game and you feel really bad about it, and then it kind of happens to you at the end of the game, or you see it from a different perspective, and it just is like kind of haunting. But it is, it was an amazing game. I'd highly recommend it. That was a very, very good piece of sci-fi storytelling.
It's stuck in your brain.
And it definitely stuck in my brain,
It's really immersive. I've only played a couple of hours or so, but it's...
Yeah, I'd
immersive.
highly recommend finishing it, because the story just gets better and better throughout. Because it starts off just feeling like your generic horror sort of trope, but it's
I just hit a level that really annoyed me, and I just couldn't bring myself to do it. But you're like swimming underwater.
Oh yeah, those bits are crap. To be fair, that's the one thing that stops it from being as good as it should be. To be fair, the outside bits are just rubbish. Yeah. Anyway, who's next? Kevin.
Me, yeah. Mine is coincidentally a game that came out recently, but an earlier version in Gears 3 when Dominic dies.
Oh man! Spoiler alert! Jesus!
Spoiler.
Hey, come on, man! If you imagine if someone that listens and they're just like, "What?" I've been playing this.
I just completed Gears 2. It was my favourite.
But when Dom sacrifices himself for everyone, and he's just
that was an
hero.
emotional moment, man.
You've been with him ever since the beginning, and then he just
I think that the other bit with him is sadder in my opinion.
But
then he finds his wife.
It's stuck in my mind because you know that that's it for Dom.
What's the song that they play during it as well? It's like I
don't know. Goodbye,
it's
Dom.
a really good. Oh yeah, that classic 80s hit. Yeah. That is a
that's
good
a moment
bit. That's probably like peak, like top tier Gears stuff. You know, I don't think storytelling wise it got any better or worse than that.
Yeah, they did. I feel like they chose a good time to.
They did
do something like that.
Yeah,
they did
it was really good.
They did him good, basically.
They did do him good. Yeah. All right, Danny boy.
Skyrim.
Oh, have a laugh.
Games.
You're just saying that because of the feedback.
Hear me out. No. Hear me out. The first Elder Scrolls game I played was Morrowind, which was brilliant, and it still has a far better weapon selection, and in my opinion, a far more interesting world than the more recent games. But Oblivion, Morrowind, and Skyrim, and in fact, all of the Fallout games have this, where you start off kind of inside, locked in, and there's this moment where they open the gates or the doors for the first time, or the vault, and you just see the landscape open up in front of you. And yeah, it's just, I've done it a few times. I've played through Skyrim many, many times, but something about that game and the music that plays as you do it and just seeing this world of possibilities open up in front of you, I thought was just incredible. And yeah, just following that, I just had some amazing memories playing that with my housemate for hours and hours and hours on end. And it always comes back to that moment of seeing it for the first time.
That's a pretty good...
I just really appreciate that.
Pretty nice.
Yeah, it's good.
Definitely, I don't have any memories of myself, but...
Did you never play Skyrim?
No, I've never played Skyrim.
What?
Ooh,
that's insane. What the hell?
Just never had
That game was like out on every single console in existence. How have you not just stumbled across it?
As you know, I'm very much a person that plays games, and I play with multiple other people.
Yeah, but you were banging out Fallout New Vegas like last year.
Yeah, do you know that took me nearly 2 full years? I started on one Christmas, 2 Christmases later, I finished Fallout New Vegas.
Man, oh man! All right,
that was the best Fallout.
I've never played it.
By far the best Fallout.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. Definitely up there.
Yeah, I had similar moments down in Oblivion, but not in terms of like, oh my god, so beautiful. I just mean fun. Like doing the Gladiator Arena in Oblivion was one of the best times going, man. That's not my one, but that was really good. I remember doing it at Kane. It's good fun.
Yeah, I've got tons of memories from those games. But
yeah,
I think it all just comes down to that one moment of seeing it for the first time and it sparking your journey off.
Yeah. But there are a lot of moments in that where you see something for the first time and you're just like, damn. Like seeing a dragon for the first time in Skyrim, for example, is mad. Yeah. But it's good.
Good stuff.
Right, so my one is The Last of Us, and it's the moment, not the draft moment. I'm sorry to say, Kevin.
No. That was like.
And for me, it was the finale that a lot of people, for some reason, didn't like, and I don't get why. I thought that the finale sequence when they I'm not going to spoil it actually, just in case people haven't played it.
It's just it's come out on PlayStation Plus as well.
Yeah, so. I'm not going to spoil it, but basically something happens. And at the end, you're driving along. The 2 main characters are driving along.
You get hit by a giraffe.
And No. And there's this moment where Joel basically lies to Ellie, and the fact, I think it just showed how good of a game it was, because you could just see on Ellie's face that she knew that he was lying. But they didn't have to. You don't know
that for sure, though.
No, you don't. But you could. There were so many emotions going through that face.
Yeah. And
it was, obviously early face capture sort of games, and it was one of those moments where you were just like that is some really good storytelling. No dialogue, nothing. Just that one look right at the end of the game was just like, oh man, and I can't wait for the next one. And so
I totally agree with that. Actually, that was such a powerful and I think turning point in the entire story as well.
Yeah.
It's
right
all
at the
about,
end as well.
yeah. It's all about him being open with her and taking her in as his own, essentially. And there's just this lying through the teeth in a way to protect her, and in another sense in a really, really dark way.
Yeah.
And
so very, very amazing bit. Right, Kevlar.
My next is, again, you're gonna hate me for this.
Oh, don't say FIFA again.
You
can't have FIFA twice in it, surely.
If anything, I feel like there should be a little bit of respect on this part, because it isn't anything really to do specifically with FIFA in general. It's more to do with my first online thing that I ever did was FIFA, and it was with my brother. And it was the first time I'd ever played any game against anyone else except for my brother. And I remember me and him were sat there together. We're like, should we try it? So I think it took us about 3 hours to get online set up, because we didn't understand IPs, didn't understand all these passwords and stuff you had to put in, where to get your Wi-Fi password and all that stuff. And we finally got it in, and we were like, oh, we're going to get slaughtered this game. Like, we're going to be so bad compared to people online. First game we got on, absolutely, I'm pretty sure me and him went on about a good 25 game win streak, because we didn't realise just how good we were at the game. And I just remember it being that moment. It was just like playing against someone else, being so nervous to then realise, like, wait, people are actually terrible. And
I actually really like that one.
And I think it was for the fact as well, it wasn't just me on my own, just both me and my brother. We were so nervous. We were like, like he's playing one half, I'm playing the next half. Together we're like, obviously we're much younger back then. It was, it seems silly now, but it was
No, that's
really cool though.
That's a good one.
I don't remember the first time I played a game online. Like, I wish I could remember the first time I played online, because it must have been quite a special moment.
I remember, but the first game I ever played online was... Oh no, because it would have been a PC. No, I don't know actually. No idea. Because I remember the first one on Xbox 360, but not.
What was your first 360 online game?
Far Cry 2. Oh. The one where you had to take Viagra not Viagra.
Wow, man, that's a kinky game.
That's a very different game, then.
But malaria pills were called Viagra.
Oh Lord.
Got to keep that pulse up. Keep pumping those Viagra.
Oh man! Oh god! I am tired today. This is not good. This is not good. Okay, no, Kevin, I'll give you that one. Even though I know we always joke about FIFA and you loving FIFA too much, and you have two FIFA. I swear to God, Kevin, if your number one is FIFA as well, I'm done.
Are you ready?
You're out.
I'm joking.
All right, Dan, go.
2 left. So this is... I've played a lot of MMOs, World of Warcraft, Guild Wars, all those sorts of things. But one particular memory of an MMO stood out to me a lot, and that was Guild Wars 2. Relatively recently, actually, I just decided to give it a go and tried to get stuck in with the community there. And I didn't really know anything about the game. I hadn't looked anything up, so I was just kind of learning as I went along. And visited the local town, or the main city hub, and just stood in town and started chatting to people and asking them what was going on and about what classes they were and what races they were, and just kind of getting into it. And there was just this really cool moment where somebody walked up to me and started playing a little tune on a flute or something, and I thought that was really cool. I was like, that's a really cool emote. I didn't know you could like do emotes like that. And then he started playing a different tune, and then somebody else turned up and pulled out like a little guitar banjo type thing and started playing along with him. And I just had this moment where I realized that in this game you could play live music and form bands and orchestras and things, and people were literally like using their keyboards to play tunes. And then this dude walked up with this fat like fantasy style bass guitar and started strumming some riffs, and it's not a perfect musical system, but it was just such a cool moment to realize that I was just interacting with all these people and we were just hanging out, and then somebody just started jamming, and it just felt really cool. Yeah, and they were teaching me how to play and sort of showing me all the different instruments in this world. It's not the only game that does it by any means, but I thought it was fucking awesome, to be honest.
Did the Batellis come on?
I don't remember hearing that one. No.
That's
sorry.
That's
you could probably learn.
That's mine and Ben's personal band, the Batellis.
Yeah.
Is it?
We're not officially out yet, but maybe in like 50 years' time we'll be somewhere.
Yeah, when Kevin eventually buys a drum kit, we might actually,
Yeah,
get a move on.
Let's move on.
Okay.
Making me the bad guy all the time.
That's because you are. Right, my number 2 is... So I've got one written down here, but I don't want to pick that one anymore. My number 2 is beating my old friend from primary school, Hansway. We used to play Soul Calibur, like, quite religiously. And beating him for the first time when he was playing... I can't remember her name. It was a ninja girl. Taki, maybe, or something?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Is that right? Let me just quickly...
She has those 2 stick things, right?
Yeah, I think it was Taki. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Taki.
Nice.
Yeah, so beating... So he was, like, ridiculous with this girl. And, you know, like, doing the craziest combos going and stuff. And then I beat him for the first time, and it was one of the most satisfying things. It was kind of like beating that boss on Bloodborne, Kev.
Yeah.
But a human
it's
being.
A human boss,
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was it. It was good. I miss Hans. I miss our Soul Calibur days. Yeah. All right.
It's probably my favourite of the fighting games.
Yeah,
except
definitely.
Maybe Mortal Kombat. Actually, I like Mortal Kombat too.
I wasn't a fan really.
The superhero one that was well good.
That's basically Mortal Kombat, but with superheroes.
Oh.
So like same combat system and stuff.
Injustice, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
Injustice.
The one. Yeah. Oh, mate, Aquaman was the boss on that one.
Aquaman, just poking your trident at the floor, just repeatedly. Right, Kevin, go. Your top one.
My top one. This is a one that I mentioned
Kev.
quite a bit last week, and it's Crash Bash.
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Again, the moment that a lot of mine do revolve around doing things with other people, but like where I mentioned I was doing it with my mum, like back when I was a kid. But the first time me and her finally 100% did that game. Or what was actually quite cool about the game though is that I think once you'd finished the final boss, it said that it was 100% complete, but then it did like throw more stuff you can do out, so you could go past 100%.
Oh, that's cool.
So once you completed all that, and you got to your 200%, I think it was 200% anyway, but when you got all the relics and the golden relics, like, and I just remember, again, me and my mum would just sit for hours, just taking turns trying to beat the final one, and finally did it, to think that, like, you know, we haven't got to do this anymore, because you almost, like, once you started it, you feel like you have to finish it. You feel like, you know, You've dug many hours into it, you know. It's just
that's like what we were like with Bloodborne, wasn't it?
Yeah. You think
we were at that boss, we were just like, oh,
I'm this far. I put this many hours into it. It'll be like a crime to have not finished it and not beaten it. And it's just knowing that I have that game completed, just warms my heart.
Crash Bash 2 coming soon.
Made by Kevin Hart.
Oh yeah.
Alright.
Cool. That's a good one. I expected it to be that, to be fair, after your heart-wrenching story last week.
Yeah.
Alright.
Nice one.
Go on, Dan.
Mine's not actually my game from last week. I decided to skip it out, make space for something else. This one's a storytelling one, kind of like your Last of Us moment. There's a scene in The Witcher 3 where you meet a character called Priscilla, and The Witcher 3 is kind of a dark. Go on.
Is Priscilla the witch woman?
No, Priscilla's like a singer that you meet in a pub later on.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the sexy bathtub scene.
Friends? No, that's not my favourite storytelling scene of all time. No.
Sorry, God, yeah.
So Priscilla's like really close with Dandelion, who's a songwriter in the game, or a poet, whatever they call it, a bard. And yeah, there's a moment where the game's obviously kind of dark and gritty and somber, and there's lots of death and poverty and pretty miserable stuff going on in this world. And you enter a bar a few hours into the game, and Priscilla, the first time you meet her, goes up on stage and sings this live song, and it's so beautiful. Like, the voice actor that does it, in the English version at least, the Polish version is amazing as well, don't get me wrong, but the voice actor that does the English dub of this character is Tom Hiddleston's sister.
Oh, okay.
Like Loki's sister. And she's got an amazing voice. And not only that, but they motion capture everything really beautifully, all of the expressions on her face, and even like the strumming of the individual notes. But it's this really, really beautiful kind of song tale about The Witcher, about Geralt and Yennefer and their history and whatnot. If you read the books, you kind of get it. I haven't read the books, but it kind of was kind of clear what they were singing about. But it's just this break in the chaos that just really, really hits you. I don't really know how else to put it, but it's such an amazing scene. And, they're panning the camera around the bar, and there's people who were previously sort of rowing and arguing, and everyone kind of stops and they're watching this performance, and some of them are crying. And you can see for the first time in the game, I think, you can really see the emotion on Geralt's face. Geralt's face. You can really see, like, he's not crying, but he's deep in thought and kind of reminiscing, and it just triggers this human side to him. I don't know, man. Like, as soon as that scene was over, I was completely hypnotized by it, and I just put my controller down and sat back in my seat, and I was like, wow, that was amazing, and just went and looked it up and who sang it and everything else. Yeah, I think that's one of the most memorable story moments in a game that I can think of.
Oh, God. So
it seems pretty memorable considering like every individual detail.
Yeah. I've watched it a few times now, and apart from the fact that I can't pronounce the main character's name, but that's not
Witcher Man.
That's not The Witcher. Yeah,
that's his name. Right. So Kevin's was really like heartwarming, lovely mother-son bonding time. Dan's was this hypnotizing, like emotional song. Mine was just pure anger and determination. Dan, do you know what this one is?
It's not Cuphead, is it?
No.
That's too recent.
Come on, top one of all time. What's my crowning achievement in all of gaming?
I don't know. Celeste.
Oh my lord, no, that's up there though.
Hunter,
Guitar Hero.
Oh, Fire and Flames.
Through the Fire and Flames on the hardest difficulty on Guitar Hero.
Proud.
Yeah, man. It was similar to that Resident Evil 4 story from last week, where I played it 13 times to get that gun. Where I basically, kept practicing and practicing just to beat the song. I had to do it. I had to have that song completed in my mind, and then I did it, and then I never picked up Guitar Hero again because I've done the hardest song on it. What was the point?
Every single one of them.
Pardon?
Me and you completed every single one of them.
Yeah, I have completed every single one.
No, I'm saying, when remember that you said you didn't pick it up since then, but then when me and you did it, didn't we?
Did we? Oh, we did, and I broke the drums. Yeah. Okay, apart from then, I haven't picked it up since.
That obviously wasn't a memorable moment for you, was it? Jeez.
Well, did we complete Through the Fire and Flames, Kev? So
yeah, but you managed to complete every single one of them in about 4 days with me.
So did we go through the whole thing?
We went through the whole thing. We just woke up every single day and just played them. And like, by the end
that's
of
when we
it,
got all the
my-
noise
like-
complaints, wasn't it?
Like I'd like broken my back.
Oh yeah.
I was just sitting on the drums just non-stop. I just broke.
Yeah. Oh man, that was good. Right, that can be like on par with Through the Fire and Flames. That was good times. So that's my top one, beating that.
Awesome.
Which
That's the
was...
holy grail of Guitar Hero songs, that.
No, I found out afterwards it's not, and then I tried the other one, and no, that's not happening. So cool. Right, that's our top 5 gaming moments. So if you haven't listened to last week, basically we're doing a top 5 moments or whatever at the start of each week, just so you can get to know our sort of our gaming lineage sort of thing. So it allows you to get to know us. And so in fact, Kevin, what's our top 5 for next week? Let's stick it in here.
We're popping it in now.
Yeah, we're popping it in now.
So, I thought I'd go on a little bit of a different line in terms of your top things that really stick out to you. I'm going to go for games that you were disappointed by. The top 5 games you were disappointed by. So games you was expecting
I like that one.
So much out of it. So much hype and stuff comes out. It's just not what you think, and it's just a bit naff, really.
Are you just picking this one so that you can just be like FIFA 19, FIFA 18, FIFA...
Enough with the FIFA, man.
Alright, cool, that's a good one. Right, so next week, folks, we will be doing the top 5 disappointments. Cool.
And with
good
that,
fun.
Just maybe nice sort of moving on section bit.
Oh, segue.
If you're not that big of a fan of these top 5s, because they are very personal moments, so it's very difficult to kind of gauge how we feel with these moments. You can let us know how, whether or not you do like the top 5 moments and you want us to keep doing it, or we can figure something else. We can stick something else in there, and this can all because feedback is our, it makes us better. And obviously, as we've only done one episode so far, we have got quite a bit of feedback, more than we expected, I think. And we did so far on Apple Podcasts anyway, which is where we are. We're on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We've had 10 ratings so far on Apple. They're all 5 stars, which we are very grateful for.
Technically we have 7 because 3 was us 3. But
I haven't rated it.
Have you not? We got 9 then because 1 was me.
And with that, I'd say our main feedback that we did get, that when people I've spoken to and other stuff we've got, is that it was too long last week. So we're definitely taking that into account.
We do apologise for that. I did warn everyone that it would be too long. I think the main reason why was because we were doing 2 weeks worth of stuff. Yeah. And obviously we're trying to get into the swing of it and sort of structure it better. So, but yeah. Yeah.
So I'm thinking we could probably get it between the hour and a half, 2 hours, possibly. I mean, again, it's all to do with feedback. Let us know whether or not some people out there might enjoy longer ones, and if we manage to get it in between this hour and a half, 2 hours, let us know if you like it or not. Other bits of feedback stuff we got is we have a good, our personalities. All 3 of us, we are a little bit different, but similar in the same way. It's a good mix. So we'll keep up the way we are, kind of thing.
What does that mean?
Well, if someone thought maybe someone was a bit too boring, they might change the way they are, or someone thought they were a bit too, I don't know. It was just one of the good feedbacks that I've heard.
Good.
Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, whoever said that.
And then we did get 2 questions in.
3
questions in. Yeah. You're gonna have to show me the 3rd one because. One of them said, "Hey, great show, guys. Love it. Question request in honor of God of Father," which is obviously a lovely moment last week. What are your best and worst video game dads? Does anyone want to take this one? Anyone got any?
Hey,
Yeah,
we all got an answer.
I've got an answer.
All right.
Go on, Ben. You go first.
Oh no! I'm thinking now.
What? Oh,
I'm thinking right now. Okay, let me go last. Go on, Dan.
Well, I think this one's really easy to answer. The worst video game dad of all time, without a doubt, is Joel from The Last of Us.
The worst?
Yeah.
You understand?
Nah,
you said the
Hell no.
words.
He's the worst. It takes 15 minutes and his daughter dies. Like, he only kept her alive for like 15 minutes. That's ridiculous.
I guess that's true.
No, I'm not accepting that, man. He did everything he could. He fucking rolled over with the girl, and Dan, I thought we were supposed to not be doing spoilers for this game, and you've just given away like
the first
big plot
15
point.
minutes. Like,
Yeah, but it's still a big plot point. Come on.
Yeah, and then about 10 minutes later, he goes and replaces her with somebody else. Like, yeah, he must have really loved his daughter. Like, come on.
No, man, I can't get on board with that.
I do remember at the beginning of it, seeing it, I'm like, that was a pathetic effort.
What do you mean? Like, he rolled over and took the bloody bullets for her.
Well, clearly he did not.
Yeah,
because one went into her.
Oh, sorry for not taking the bullets well enough. What a joke.
He's supposed to
can't
be
believe
like
he's...
a
Oh,
main
no, man,
protagonist,
I'm done.
action hero type dude. So yeah, he's clearly the worst video game dad of all time. The best is easily Octodad.
He's a bit of a lad, isn't he?
Octodad's amazing. So Octodad is literally an octopus who wears a suit to try and fit in with human species. And he goes to work. He takes his kids out on day trips. He tries really, really hard to fit in. You know, he tidies up around the house. He does the gardening. He just looks after his family, really. And he has to put up with all of these people looking at him, trying to, you know, suss him out and work out if he's human. And he has to, you know, deal with people staring him down. Well, yeah, he's an octopus in a suit.
I wouldn't walk down the road and see a dog be like, "Are you?
Is he human?
Yeah, are you?"
Well, that's the thing. He's putting his everything into disguising the fact that he's not a person. But you know, he's pretty good at it.
Penguins wear like suits all the time. I don't get confused between them.
True. Yeah, I guess. But I mean, this guy takes his kids to the aquarium at one point. Like, I think that's really cool. And the fact that he has to go and see all of his like sea creature friends in cages and put up with that emotional bombardment.
Not even in water.
Just so his kids can have a good time. His entire family are humans, by the way.
Oh.
Like, he's married to a human, and I don't know how that works, but you know.
A lot of holes to fill.
Oh God.
Actually, I'm going to up that one.
I smell episode title.
I'm going to up that one. Yeah, I'm going to up that. Evil Within.
Evil Within?
I'm sorry, but he goes through hell to try and get his daughter back, doesn't he?
Is that his daughter?
I swear there's one moment where... I'm pretty sure in the second one he's going after his daughter, isn't he? And like he sees him in the flames and stuff and...
Oh yeah, and the second one, yeah.
Like, I mean, he makes himself an absolute.
He quite literally goes through hell to get.
Yeah,
I'll take that.
That's pretty good, Dad.
He's a good lad, good lad, Dad.
You got anyone got any others?
Oh yeah. I've got tons. I've just gone on to What Culture, 10 best ever video game dads.
That's just cheating, man.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
Away.
No, I'm getting ideas, alright? And I think, without a shadow of a doubt, the worst video game dad is Zeus in God of War.
That's a pretty good one.
He's not even on this list, I'll be honest. I just thought of him because Kratos was on it, and I was like, nah, Kratos is alright, I guess, but Zeus was a dick, man. So, yeah, he was not very pleasant. Not like the Zeus in Hercules, which was a shame, because he was a lad.
Oh. From what I hear, Kratos doesn't take after his father as a father.
Some traits. You'll play it at some point. So I remember I've got it on the +4, so you can borrow it whenever. And then the best dad, just from sheer gameplay, is Big Daddy.
Ooh.
Easily Big Daddy. Yeah.
Big Daddy.
How quickly does Big Daddy just completely mess you up when you try and mess with his little girls, man? Like, he's just go up to him and just give him a high five or something, and he just like drills through a wall and just melts your skull. Like he's definitely the best.
That's a good one. I don't think they're like biological parents of the.
Oh, we're gonna get into this, are we?
He's a dad. No questions.
Yeah, clearly.
Okay. Well, I'll take it.
All right. Should we go on to our other question?
Yeah, move on. Yeah.
Okay, so this is a long one.
Thank you for that question, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Roshan.
That's good. We had a bit of feedback saying that they're very disappointed in. This was from Adam Skinner. Shout out to you. He's very disappointed in our top 5 list that there was no strategy games, and he has listed his top 5.
Hold on, Kev. What do you say to that?
What, the strategy games?
He's disappointed in our lack of strategy games. Yeah.
I'm not. I've played a little bit of some, like Rome Total War. I think I played, and I just didn't. It was too long for me. Too much time. I didn't have the time. I don't really have the time for it, and it's too slow for me to kind of. So I don't really have that much of a, experience with this kind of stuff. So personally, not my thing.
That's right, Adam.
But
mess with the ball, you get the horns.
But it's a. I'm guessing there are people out there that believe these kind of games are good. I mean, like he says himself that he sunk many hours into it, which being that his top 5 we have here, being Medieval 2, Total War or Total War franchise. He said he couldn't actually choose one of the games itself, so he stuck them all together.
They are very good, to be fair. I mean, I'm sort of same as you, Kev, where it's very time consuming, and I know I can't use that as an excuse because I've put thousands of hours into other games, but I just feel like, it's enjoyable, but over stretched out over such a long period of time, it sort of becomes a bit like, oh.
You might sink a lot of hours into like games, but a lot of the time they're like in small blocks, like half an hour games or 15 minutes or something, whereas they're like your big, like half your day gone or something. I'm sure it's not that bad, but
it definitely can be.
Okay, there you go.
I played Medieval Total War like way back in the day, a skirmish here and there, and I thought it was cool, like the scale of it and seeing all the soldiers fighting each other. But I never really got into it. But about 6 months ago, I played Warhammer Total War for the first time and completely flied through the campaign. I had so much fun, like really, really cool campaigns in those games. In Warhammer Total War anyway, which is the only one I've played.
Yeah, Warhammer Total War was good, man. But I mean, obviously we're both Warhammer fans anyway, so we're obviously going to be a bit biased towards it.
I was like, yeah, why not? But yeah, awesome. What else is on his list, Kev?
It's got number 2 is Binding of Isaac Rebirth, which I can myself understand that because I've myself played many hours, and it's such an easy game. Like
it's not easy, man.
No. It's an easy game where it's like say like you're home for like an hour or something, and you want to just play something quickly, or even half an hour. You can just jump on. You can have a couple of games.
Yeah.
You can just like see how far you get, improve your best runs and stuff. Just because every single game is different. You play every secret door is different. Every item in every room's different, and it's such a.
It is quite like pinnacle roguelike sort of game, where like I don't know, other games sort of are, most of them are quite like half roguelike, if that makes sense. Like where they're like I was explaining about Dead Cells last week, where the setting is the same each time, sort of thing, and they still feel fairly samey. Whereas when you play Binding of Isaac, every room is completely different. Like completely different. I don't understand how they do it so randomly, but yeah, good game.
I think Adam says this in his note, but I really love how dark the story is.
Yeah.
Like it tells you right at the beginning, and in the manual and with a little video at the start, his mum basically gets possessed or goes crazy with religious occultism or something, and goes into her kid's room and tries to stab him to death, and he dives into the depths of hell. But it's done in such a cute way. Like it's so bizarre.
Yeah, it's really odd. Very dark, but
yeah.
Alright, what else, Kev? Keep going.
he's got another strategy game, Civilization 5.
Never played it.
I haven't
game,
either.
yeah.
I don't actually know much about it, but he's
Yeah, it's good. It feels a lot faster paced than most other sort of real time. Is it real time? No, it's turn based, isn't it? But those strategy sort of games like Total War and stuff. It feels very far, like a lot faster than that. Like if when you play a game in an evening, you can get all the way from prehistoric to futuristic in one evening, sort of thing. So it's good.
yeah,
I have no idea how to play it very well, but it's good.
He does actually say, which kind of leads on to our top 5. He says himself. He says that the diplomacy and backstabbing between friends in a game. It's also one of my favourite strategy games. Oh wait, no, I misread it here. The diplomacy and backstabbing between friends in a game of Civ have been some of my favourite memories of multiplayer with friends, matched probably only by some sessions in Tabletop Simulator. So it obviously produced some good memories for him.
Yeah.
Again, I could understand how some people could like that kind of pace, get like them kind of paced games. So
yeah, definitely, yeah.
And then I'd say, and then his fourth one being Divinity 2 Original Sin.
That was Dan. That was a banger last week.
Yep.
It was a banger.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Dan could go on for hours about that game.
Yes, I really could.
Yeah, we don't. It's just an amazing, like some of the most solid turn-based action you can get. Really, a really really good game. Yeah.
And then the last one he's got, which is a game that I actually downloaded on Xbox ages ago, and I didn't really see the fascination with it, but maybe I just didn't get that far into it. Being Warframe.
Yeah, I've always been meaning to look into this. I've never done it. Dan, you've given it a go, haven't you?
Yeah, I played like a little bit on PC way back when it first came out, and I don't think it was very polished at that point and didn't really grip me. And Switch handheld mode, it just doesn't feel very good to aim, but I imagine it would be pretty good with a proper controller. And from what I've heard, the most recent versions of it are really, really good. And I also love the philosophy of the company in terms of being able to get everything in the game without having to spend a penny. Like, I really respect that. But yeah, it looks awesome. It's ninjas in space with guns and swords and spears and spaceships and aliens and robots and I mean, yeah, you can't really.
Okay, so it's just like it's like putting all the best things in a cake or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got a bit more feedback about. He thought it was quite structured and generally quite a good laugh. He also has his own bit of news about, because last week we were talking quite heavily about the gambling stuff in gaming and loot boxes. And he says, in response to one of the news articles about the Parliamentary Committee looking into loot boxes, one of the companies that featured heavily in the report was Jagex, who make RuneScape, and I believe they sent a representative in person to be quizzed by this committee, which can be viewed online somewhere. They feature so heavily in their game, is their game has its own loot box type system, and it caused a lot of controversy. And I believe they had one person spend about £5,000 on microtransactions in a really short period of time.
Yeah, but then like Dan said, like that's one case, and it could just be a whale dude.
Yeah, honestly, it's actually frightening that people just spend that kind of money.
It's a subjective amount of money. Like that could be pennies to one person and thousands, and like a lifetime fortune to another person.
I just sort of value things in terms of Ford Mustangs, and that is 1/8 of a Ford Mustang. So,
okay,
yeah,
it's pretty ridiculous when you think about what you're actually getting in return for the money,
yeah,
which is like some bits and bytes and like graphics on a screen.
I do wonder what justification goes through their head when they're paying all this money. They're doing it, and they're just like, yeah, but I have put like hundreds of hours into this game, so it's probably worth it, you know. But yeah.
Oh. Yeah, once they're invested, they don't want to leave because otherwise it does feel like a waste of money. So it's just a continuous cycle.
Definitely. And I think I believe that you. I'll go on to his last point and then come to one before that. He says that it was a good episode, and this next bit I do agree with completely. Just we need to implement it maybe next week or the week after. Is have a little clip or a music clip or a jingle?
We have a jingle.
Okay, a more professional jingle, something that.
Yeah, but you have no idea about post recording magic. Okay, Dan is an expert on Ableton. He's going to take what we just did and create a phenomenal piece of music.
What?
So, guys, to be honest, everyone that's listening to this right now has already heard the jingle and they're thinking, "What on earth is Kevin talking about?"
That's true. Like I said, I've been like, you might either hear a jingle at the start, at the end of this, or you might not. It'll be a surprise to me right now because I don't know.
They will have heard a jingle, and hopefully they love it.
Yeah.
God.
And then
I believe... Thanks for the. Oh, is that the whole email from Adam? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there is a bit about the new Call of Duty, which I believe you guys wanted to. Or you're going to touch on it a bit later.
No, we can talk about it now. But there's one more bit of feedback, isn't there?
Oh yeah. Go. Yeah, you throw that bit out there.
Oh, well, me? All right.
Yeah, go for it.
So the lovely Vicky Crisp messaged us, I think, and was very disappointed in our lack of Skyrim love. But we've already addressed that because Dan was talking about how dope
that was on my list before I saw that feedback.
He's lying.
No, it was almost in my top games of all time last week.
Yeah,
I love Skyrim.
Yeah,
and
it is a really good game.
Can totally understand you being upset for it not being mentioned at all.
But it is subjective, and there's no point getting upset about it, is there, Vicky? So leave us alone, yeah? I'm joking. Please love us. Please keep listening. Cool. Right. So Adam, thank you for the feedback, everyone. Adam was talking about Call of Duty. So if people want to leave us some more feedback, Kevin, and people want to love us by giving us messages and contributing to the content of our lovely podcast, how would they do so?
How would they do that?
Two different ways. We have Twitter, which is at praisethepickle, being one whole word. Just send us a tweet. You can send us a private message if you want. It's up to you. And then also by email, which is praisethepicklepodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, and if you could, please follow us on Twitter.
Yes.
We don't post that much stuff, so you won't get bombarded with adverts and stuff like that. But it would be great to sort of be able to see what you guys are up to and for you to have easy contact with us. So please do.
Also,
it'd be nice to have more than 10 followers as well.
Yeah. If we can break that 10 follower boundary by next week, the first 10 will get a $10 Amazon gift card.
Not this evening.
Yeah, no, it's not happening. Right, so Adam, what did Adam say about Call of Duty?
He said a news piece. I'll be interested in hearing your thoughts. Controversy with exclusive being locked for a few years onto the Epic Game Store.
Yeah.
I would also like your thoughts on the operative game mode in the new Call of Duty being exclusive for a year on PS4, and a lot of Xbox players have to pre-order, feeling like they have been shafted.
Yeah. So, in terms of the Epic Game Store thing, I think it's a good thing personally for the industry, because I feel like Steam take the piss a little bit and they have no competition, so they can take as much piss as they want, really. So I have no issue with other people coming in taking exclusives, because it's the same thing. It's all on the same device. It's all on the PC.
Competition is good for consumers.
Yeah.
Simple as. Like, if you're a consumer, it's perfect, and it makes people makes company want to bet themselves.
Yeah, and it's these pansy bloody PC master race people like me that are just like, I want all my games to be in one place, and it's just a bit pathetic in my opinion. Like, oh no, you have to open up another launcher. Big whoop. If that creates better, competition in the market, it means that, they're saying that the developers can get a bigger chunk of, bigger percentage of sales if they go with their platform. That's ultimately good for developers, good for us. The only person it's not good for is basically Steam in this case. But Steam need to sort their shit out, to be honest.
And you know what? Yeah, I guess this is relating on to into news pieces. Is the fact that so far Epic have paid £10 million for exclusives.
Whoa, that's mad.
Which it sounds mad and everything, but it's putting them in good light. You hope that this investment.
But they're not in good light. People still look at them badly, and I don't understand why.
But they're getting a lot of exclusives, and people love it. People have a weird thing for exclusives.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel like they're getting exclusives. It feels like they're stealing them from Steam. So it kind of feel It kind of feel because Steam was like the place to play games on PC, right? Apart from like Ubisoft, Uplay, and all that stuff. It was like the place to play games. Now that anything goes on to Epic, it kind of feels like they're stealing it off Steam, and people seem to have a problem with that. So I don't understand why. It kind of feels like if, I don't know, as a PS4 fan, I really enjoy the God of War games. And then if God of War 5 was an Xbox exclusive, I'd be a bit like, what the hell? But... So I guess that's kind of why, but it still doesn't make any sense because you need a PC to use Steam, and with the PC you can also use Epic. So
gamers are lazy,
you
man.
just have to have another.
That's
I know it's bonkers, isn't it?
It's like if we can have as minimal things open as possible, we'd be happy.
Yeah.
So
Dan, anything to add? Been very quiet there.
Yeah, I don't really know how I feel about it. I think in an ideal world. It sounds a little bit utopian maybe, but there would be a variety of game stores or launchers all run by different companies with different values and ethoses and whatnot. And the consumer would be able to pick which one they bought from, depending on how much cut that company gives to the developers and the publishers, etc. Kind of like Humble Bundle does, where you could literally choose how much of your payment goes to the developers, how much goes to charity, and how much goes to the store, Humble Bundle.
Yeah, but
I really like that system.
Yeah, but Steam have completely thingied it, haven't they? They've completely...
Well, this is why I think there should be a choice. And regardless of whether you like Epic Game Store or not, I really don't know if I like the idea of being filtered through one platform with all of the ads and marketing included on it in order to get the game that you want to play. Like, I kind of just wish it was all a bit like GOG, where it was DRM free and you just downloaded the game onto your computer, no launcher required, and you could just launch the game as a game, like back in the old days. I don't know. I don't like the idea of people being funneled through one launcher or another because it just feels like some big marketing ploy to throw ads in your face and promote other products to you.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have a problem with it if they all had the same ethos, like you said. But I would happily. I'll download Epic now. It's fine. If they're giving a bigger proportion of the sales to the developers, then I'm fully on board with it. I don't care about exclusives. I don't care about that because Steam take the piss, frankly. Like why do they deserve such a big cut of each game?
Yeah, I do agree with that.
You know,
I think it's just because they've been almost like a monopoly for such a long time.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Competition is healthy. It's good. You know, it's like the reason that we're going to be the best podcast is because we're competing with other podcasts. You know, if it was just us, then it wouldn't feel as good. We wouldn't even have to try. So, yeah, there you go. Cool. And Call of Duty, yeah. So Call of Duty, I found out earlier this week. The Special Ops mode, I think it's called. The survival mode of Special Ops is exclusive to PlayStation 4 for 1 year.
A year.
That's
October 2020. They've locked down an entire portion of the game.
And what's the biggest problem with this? Even Kevin could answer this one.
That by next year, the next Call of Duty will be out.
Exactly. So, I'm sorry. I just offended him so hard. Even Kevin could answer this one. So, you know, if you're going to be doing this pretty much games as a service, FIFA style crap where you release a game every single year, you can't lock something to something for an entire year, and you certainly cannot announce it so late. That's the thing that takes the utter piss.
Everyone's already pre-ordered.
Yeah, like even
so they announce it.
Yeah, me and Dan have both pre-ordered this game, and now they're telling us this is less than a month before it's launching, and they're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, it's exclusive to PS4 for a year. A year, not even 6 months. 6 months would be taking the piss. A year is beyond a joke. Like,
everyone's saying as well that people are just salty because they don't have a PlayStation, and if it was like an exclusive on another platform, then all the other platforms would be salty. But
no,
I don't know. I think it's
No.
so much more than that.
it's a joke. It's a year long as a joke. Remember how annoyed everyone was with Rise of the Tomb Raider being Xbox? I think it was Xbox One exclusive for a year. I think it was Rise of the Tomb Raider.
What was sorry, you say that again?
As there was I think it was Rise of the Tomb Raider was Xbox One exclusive for 1 year,
Yeah.
or PS4 exclusive, something like that.
Yeah.
And everyone was just like raging about it. It was like, why? You know, but that game still is a story game and it persists after that. Call of Duty is mainly online focused, let's face it.
Oh yeah, 100%,
And-
definitely.
Yeah, so you can't have a game that you release every single year, you know, and then lock part of the content for a year. It makes no sense. It's just... It'll
That's
be
the
like...
thing.
Sorry, go on, Dan. Yeah.
I was going to say that's the thing that upsets me. It's not like they're just releasing some exclusive DLC for one platform. They're literally taking a chunk of the game away from all of the other platforms that didn't
Yeah.
pay the publishers as much money.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
the thing that annoys me. It's like releasing a game and then, you know, locking half of the characters and making people pay for them separately.
Yes.
Characters are already in the game. You know
That's
what I
a
mean?
great
It's there.
segue onto something else, but there is something... it's really annoying because there's another Call of Duty thing I want to talk about. Apparently, there are rumours from a very reputable source that weapons are going to be in loot boxes on Call of Duty.
They've basically showed screenshots of the loot box
I don't
screens.
like
I
that.
don't know if they've showed
Don't like
screenshots
that.
of the weapons. But
No. So, if that's the case, I'm going to be very upset. And to be honest, are they effing stupid? Like, did they not see what happened with Battlefront 2?
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Again, you're locking away content of the game in loot boxes. That's exactly what happened with Battlefront 2, and look at the backlash. Probably still the most hated comment on Reddit.
yeah, I can kind of understand camos and
No, I have no
costumes and
issue with
outfits,
camos. I'm talking
like
about
purely
weapons.
cosmetic stuff.
Yeah.
Providing it's not stupidly bright coloured like rubber duck hats and neon guns. Like, I think that just really takes away from the game, like the
Yeah.
immersion of it all and stuff. But if it's a gun that you can get in a pack that's purely cosmetic, that you can essentially rebuild with the in-game gunsmith and all the standard equipment anyway, and it's just like a reskin for a certain loadout,
You know,
then yeah, I kind of get that. But if it's a gun that you cannot get anywhere else, then that's
the way
that's
that these things work, like even potentially they'll start that way, but eventually they're gonna release things over time where it's gonna be exclusive to these packs, so people buy them. That's the whole point that they have them. But you know what? The thing I
That's
find
what happened in the last one as well.
the thing I find worst about this is they've had so much positive feedback from the beta. They had their highest beta figures ever in any Call of Duty ever, and the amount of people that just, you know, it was just good review after good review. Everyone, it was almost like a refreshing Call of Duty that people wanted, and then they throw this out there.
Well, I think there's one thing that not enough people do highlight and talk about, and that's that it's very clear when you play this game that the developers, as in the graphic designers and the animators and the visual effects artists and the 3D modelers, have done an absolutely phenomenal job. They've put their hearts and souls into this, and you can really see it. Like, it's proper good next generation stuff. It's not the developers, the people that are actually making the game's decision to do these things. It's not their decision to add loot boxes and monetize it in a certain way and lock certain segments out. It's the publisher.
Yeah, you get
So
that.
people need to be
you
angry
think that-
at Activision, not at Infinity Ward. And I just wanted to highlight that because I feel really bad for the team of people that are literally pouring their hearts and souls into this game for 5 years and then going online in the morning and checking on Reddit and whatnot and just being torn apart. Like, I just feel really bad for those guys because they've made something that genuinely feels amazing to play. It's a really nice product, and the people that are paying for it, Activision, have completely ruined it, potentially.
Yeah, it's getting a serious backlash though. I mean, I'm quite annoyed about it. If that's Like I said, if it's anything game that affects gameplay that comes out of those loot boxes, I'm done. Like,
well, it's already enough. I think I'm going to cancel my pre-order. To be honest, I think that's already enough.
Can you still
for me
cancel
to be
it?
skeptical? Yeah, you can. Yeah, there are ways you can do it. You just raise a ticket and say that you can't, you no longer want it for a certain reason. Yeah, I think I'm going to cancel my pre-order and get a game that doesn't have in-game purchases, like maybe Borderlands 3. But we'll see.
I'm starting to feel like that as well, to be honest.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on for Call of Duty because we could talk about it for ages. I'm still a little bit sore from all the Call of Duty news because I was so happy about it, and now I'm just getting really demoralised really quickly. So
yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's Call of Duty done. So on to the news. So what was the segue I said about? Was it locking things away? Yeah, characters locked. So Mario Karts came out for the iPhone this week. I don't know if it's on Android as well, but it came out for the mobile.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so obviously Nintendo like money a lot.
No way.
Yeah.
A company likes money?
Yeah, but I think they like it a little bit too much. So what they've done is, in terms of locking things away behind a paywall, there is a $5 a month subscription to unlock the fastest mode, 200cc.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. Which
Wait,
I think is just bonkers. And I know why they did it, because Super Mario Run didn't make as much money as they'd hoped because it was a one-time payment thing. So they went for the subscription model. But my golly, $5 a month? Are they taking the piss? That's ridiculous. Apple Arcade costs that much a month, pretty much.
Is that all it does? It just gives you access to the fast racing mode.
Yeah, and I think it gives you some sort of kind of like a battle pass thing, golden ticket thing or something.
Again, they'll probably release more things down the line.
I'm sure they will. Yeah, but one thing I heard, to be fair, I haven't confirmed this, so I don't know if it's true, so don't shoot me if it isn't. You can't actually play as Mario in Mario Kart unless you get Mario out of their gacha style loot boxes.
Loot boxes, man.
They're going to be the death of me, man. Honestly, I get so stressed out with the thought of loot boxes.
People are going to run out of money, aren't they?
Oh no, it's ridiculous, isn't it? So yeah, Mario Kart has been very poorly received, but it has also made something like, what was the figure? Let me find out one sec. Talk among yourselves, guys.
That's crazy. Like, imagine playing Burnout or Need for Speed, and then saying to people that play it, it costs you £1 every time you press the nitro button. If you want to go fast, you have to pay for it. That's mad.
They're just gonna find. I think they're just gonna find sneakier and sneakier ways to,
to rinse people of all their money.
And I mean, like, for example, like this stuff with Mario Kart having, to essentially get an advantage over other people almost.
It's just so sad.
The same with the Call of Duty boxes, all the guns and stuff, and it's the same. It's the big thing. Like, if anything, I feel like they should learn from how the backlash they get that FIFA gets and its Ultimate Team, because that is the biggest example of paying money to be a better, have an upper advantage, because you pay more money, you have better players, easier to win. Therefore,
but they will never set an example because they make so much money. So all these companies that are looking to them,
that's true,
for guidance, just go, look, okay, maybe they're doing something that's a little bit unethical, but look how much money they're making. All we'd have to do is do it for a few months, and then we could make a killing.
But the problem is though, is that FIFA have something it is very gripping and engaging. Whereas,
oh my god, I left for 2 minutes and we're talking about FIFA again. What happened?
Whereas, like in Call of Duty, you can still kill someone in 2 bullets. Whereas, you might get a gun that maybe kills someone in 2 bullets, but it shoots a bullet a bit 2 bits quicker, or it doesn't recoil as much. It's not a significant difference that you really do see, and it's something that.
But think about it, people will see it.
Yeah,
people are getting killed over and over again.
You'll see it, and
by somebody that's got some crazy golden intervention sniper rifle.
And then I guess same thing with Mario.
The community is going to turn around and just say like, this gun's overpowered. This isn't fair. Like, I don't want to play this game anymore.
And I guess same thing with Mario. Like, you might be seeing, these people are playing with Mario that I want to play with, and you get beaten by him. And you think like, I stick 10, 15 quid on. You could get lucky and get him, and half the time most people would be disappointed.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, sorry. I couldn't find the number. They made millions in the first 24 hours, basically. So yeah, I'm not a fan personally. Some people love these gacha style loot box get character style
People that
games.
have money.
People that have money to burn. Yeah. Yeah. So let's move on. So the Switch Lite came out,
which we completely forgot to announce last week. We were talking about Zelda being announced, and we forgot to talk about the Switch Lite.
It was
which is a huge deal.
Yeah, it was one of the biggest releases last week, obviously, and we just completely forgot. I mean, Kevin was talking about all the things that were released last week, and he just seemed to completely forget a new console somehow. But that's fine.
Yeah, nice one, Kevin.
Yeah, nice one, Kevin. It's your one job, okay. But the Switch Lite I've heard it's very, very nice as a handheld console. Many people are, basically calling it the death of the 3DS, which is true, pretty much. The 3DS hasn't got any games coming out on it. They keep saying, oh yeah, we love the 3DS and we're going to continue supporting it. No, you're not. You're not going to release any games for it. Why would you when you have a fully fledged console that is handheld? It's pointless. But it's been received very positively. Everyone loves that D-pad. My God, could you imagine having a D-pad on a Switch, man? Oh, it'd be glorious. But however, there has been a few reports from reputable sources, not just from people whistleblowing on the internet, of the same drifting issue with the Switch Lite, which is a real shame because there was a massive issue with the Switch and drifting with the analog sticks, and that was a big enough problem in itself, and there was a massive palaver behind sending it off and getting it fixed, and sometimes you had to pay for it when you shouldn't have had to because it's manufacturer warranty, and there was a big lawsuit and whatnot, and yeah, so basically they have to fix them for free. That's what came out of that. And you'd think that they would have the sense to change the hardware somehow to fix it, but they haven't. They've just released it with the same old Joy-Cons, except the D-pad, and people are still having the issue. But of course, with this one, you can't just send off the Joy-Cons because it's one unit, so you have to send the entire console off. So, yeah, real shame of that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're trying to keep prices down. I think that was probably the priority for them. Yeah. If they developed a new analog stick technology to try and resolve this problem, somebody would have found another problem with it anyway. And from what I understand, all controllers do have problems with drift. There's no such thing as a controller that will never ever drift in its life.
Yeah, it's more the issue of how quickly it starts drifting. I mean, these reports are coming out days after launch.
Yeah, true, but it's a tiny percentage of people. And obviously you're only hearing from the people that have the problem. You're not hearing from the 99.9% of people that are saying it's absolutely fine, there's no problem.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But yeah, I do understand the people that are actually having the issue must be incredibly frustrating.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't say, Dan, I found my Switch has a dead pixel on it.
No way.
Yeah, so I might have to send it back at some point. But I probably have to get Nintendo Online so I can save my save files to the cloud first, because apparently you can't save them to micro SD or something. But anyway, I digress. So the Golden Joystick public votes open. I think they opened this week. So yeah, anyone have any thoughts on what the best game of the year might be? Any of you two?
The best game of this year?
FIFA 18.
FIFA 18?
19, oh my god, yeah, you know what, I'm holding you by
FIFA 18. Anything?
I'm not sure from the top of my head. I've played some pretty good games this year, but
isn't Fortnite surely just going to win it?
No, I don't think it will this year.
It might win something, but not game of the year.
No.
God of War?
That was this year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's gonna smash it then. There's I can't think of anything that'll beat that. I'm voting on that as well. So looks like we haven't got a bet, guys. Sorry. Cool. Yeah. So you can go to the Game Radar website if you want to vote. There's a hell of a lot of categories and a lot of interesting ones. So where is best game? So the one I'm most interested in is best indie game, because I love my indie games. And there's not much on this list that seemed that amazing. So I'm quite curious as to how they got to this list.
Shortlist.
Yeah, it's a bit strange. Yeah, but have a look on there, see what the nominees are like, and it's also a great list just to find some new games to play.
When are results and things announced?
I think it's November 15th. I'm probably wrong, but I think it is. It's around
there. Votes in, guys.
Yeah. Cool. So, Inside Xbox was this week. Also, PlayStation State of Play was this week, but we're going to talk about that in a bit. Because me and Dan both watched State of Play, but I'm the only one that's seen it inside Xbox. So, it was alright. It was a bit long. There were loads of short snippets and, levels coming to things and whatnot, but no amazing standouts. So they were like, now we're going to show you some new stuff from the brand new game from Bandai Namco, Code Vein, and then it just showed like a 10-second trailer of a new boss or something, like literally about 10 seconds. That was it. I was just like, all right, cool, great. But there were 3 standouts. Outer Worlds, there's a big section on that, and it looks great. I can't wait. Yeah, really excited for that. It looks like what Fallout needs to sort of move towards, but not by Bethesda. So yeah.
The thing that worries me about that game is it's releasing on the Switch at the same time, which is great. Don't get me wrong. It just if they're able, I don't know. I feel like if they're able to port something to the Switch that easily, then the limitations of the game might.
Yeah, but I think we're going to be seeing more Switch ports day one, to be honest, because they probably have a team.
Switcher 3 coming out, so
Switcher 3. Yeah. They probably have a team that's like, dedicated to porting it for the Switch sort of thing, or they design it with the Switch port in mind, like you said. But that could
that's
make
what
the
I'm worried about,
yeah. Anyway, so that obviously looks great, so that's cool.
It does look good.
Have any of you guys heard of Atlas?
Isn't that the MMO pirate?
Yeah.
What's it based on again? There's a survival game with the
Sea of Thieves. No Man's Sky.
It's got dinosaurs
Ark.
in it. Ark, yeah. Isn't it supposed to be like a expansion of that essentially?
Kinda, yeah. Is Kevin still here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Are you eating again?
No joke. I have said a few things.
Your mic's been muted.
Didn't realise.
All right, go on, Kev. What were you saying?
I think I mentioned about the Outer Worlds that I actually saw a little thing on Reddit about that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like the whole relationship to Fallout, I heard was pretty. Yeah, like so I did it something a little bit because I'm a Fallout man.
Is it the people that made New Vegas that are making it?
I don't know about that. I literally saw like a clip of the video. It might have even been one of the short snippets that was from Inside Xbox. And then my only comment about Atlas was
it looks fucking awful.
No, it was I thought Atlas was the guy wasn't it the god that holds up the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That's my only comment about that.
The only thing that I saw of Atlas was like 6 months ago or something, and it looked absolutely dreadful. It was a buggy, horrible mess with frame rates below 20, and it was glitchy as hell and full of trolls, and just basically it didn't work at all.
Yeah, so I love the concept of it.
Oh, me too.
But because it's kind of one of those real time, what do you call it? RPG style games. When you build a fort and it stays there for other people to attack, and like Rust style, whatever you want to call it. But even in this trailer, I mean, we're talking 2 weeks. 2 weeks away. That's when it's coming out. My God, it looked clunky as hell. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good.
Yeah,
Is it?
so
Yeah, it's a poorly developed game.
yeah,
It's gonna crash so hard. I guarantee it.
yeah, I think the scope was too big, and they need to focus on making a game before they start thinking about
Well, they could start with
scope.
some netcode that works, for building an MMO, like actual online.
That would help.
works. Would be a good start.
Yeah, I mean, all the foundations of a good game are not there, but the ideas of a good game are. So it's a shame. And have any of you guys heard of Children of Mortar?
Yeah, I told you about this a few weeks ago.
You did.
So I came across Children of Mortar in the weirdest way. I updated my Rainbow Six Siege a few weeks back,
Mm-hmm.
and as I was playing in Steam, in the bit where it says what game you're currently playing, it says you are currently playing.
Oh yeah.
Name of developers: Children of Mortar.
Mm.
And it was so bizarre because I'd never heard of it by this point, and it forced me to go and Google it. So I don't know if that was like a bug with Steam where it detected Siege as this other game, but it was just really bizarre because this game was like due to come out any day, and all the publicity for it was coming out, and suddenly it told me I was playing it, but I wasn't. It was either a really, really, really clever PR stunt.
Looks like a Diablo style, cartoony Diablo style.
Yeah, it looks like
awesome.
a mix between Dead Cells and Diablo. Like it looks so
really,
good.
Really good.
Yeah, I'm well pumped for this.
Yeah. The fact that you play as an entire family and there's actual narrative in a dungeon crawler like this is really cool. Like the interactions between the characters and
but I mean the combat just looks astounding. To be honest, the combat looks so good. I'm very excited.
It looks pretty good. Yeah. I feel like there won't be much depth to it compared to like a proper traditional combat roguelike game. I feel like the story will be more
important.
The game will be more narrative focused.
I don't know. The way they described it inside Xbox was very much loads of weapons and things like that. So
yeah, well, I have read a bit about from people that have played it, and there isn't a massive amount of depth, but I think you should go into it expecting a really good story and some beautiful graphics.
Yeah.
So that excites me.
So they were the three main things. The other thing they spoke about was Project xCloud, which I kind of lost interest in. So Dan, over to you.
Project xCloud. Yeah, so Project xCloud is the streaming service, basically, from Xbox. It's launching with, I think, 5 games.
I thought they already had a streaming service.
No?
I swear you can stream on... Oh, wait, you actually mean made by Xbox? Or do you mean...
Yeah. What are you talking about?
So
on no,
on
are you thinking about streaming as in like Twitch?
But I mean, on Xbox, you can press like a certain button and then you can just stream what you're playing.
Yeah, no, as in you stream the game to your console, like Stadia.
Yeah, so so like Twitch and
No,
not like that. What? I don't understand.
no, you're streaming the game, right? So, okay, you want to play Halo 7 right now, yeah?
Yeah.
You just click play on your console and it streams the game to your console. You don't have to download it or anything.
Oh wow.
Yeah, don't wow yet, okay? Because we don't know if it works yet. So, because I mean, I imagine they rely on bloody good internet. So yeah, go on, Dan. Sorry.
It comes with 5 games at launch: Halo 5, Gears 5, Sea of Thieves, Killer Instinct, and that is actually 4 games at launch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 games at launch. Works on the Xbox. Also works on Android phones only, which is interesting, coinciding with the old what's it called? The iPhone Apple streaming Arcade service that we talked about last week.
Apple Arcade.
Apple Arcade, that's it. So yeah, Android phone. You also need an Xbox One controller. So even if you have an Android phone and the standard controller, you do need to go and get an Xbox One controller. UK residents can sign up for it now for the trial. And just test it, basically. I'm sure there'll be more games coming to it soon. I don't really know what else to say about it, to be honest. Public testing is starting now, so if you want to give it a try, give it a try. All you need is a Microsoft account and an Xbox One controller.
Easy.
And an Android phone.
I think one of us should really try this.
I wonder who could do that. I mean, I have an Android phone.
I don't, so...
Oh, no, try it on PC. It's not on PC? No, it probably isn't, is it? I just thought. No, I don't think it is. No, ignore that, no. So Dan,
it's
you're the only
Xbox
person
and
that can try it, but you don't have. No, you do have an Xbox One controller, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Look
do.
at
Do you
that. Perfect.
Give it a whirl.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of wanted to play a couple of those games, so
Cool. Give that.
Yeah,
I mean,
give
it's
it a
it's
shot.
not it is not a completely open beta, so you might not get access. You have to, like, put your name forward and they do it randomly. So
Oh,
it's
okay,
not.
that's quite.
It's not
yeah,
100%
it's a
free.
closed beta. They don't
Yeah,
want to push
so-
it too far and crash the servers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it does sound interesting, and I just want one of them to work, man. I love the idea of not having to download games, but yeah.
People have been trying for so long.
Yeah,
I
it's
just hope
definitely
we're
it's a very
finally there.
special. It's a very special thing to be able to do. I think, and it's definitely the next step, which will be.
Oh yeah,
Just...
yeah.
I've been saying that for years though, and I mean it has to be the next step, doesn't it? Because eventually we're going to reach the limit of what our consoles and computers can do, and we're going to need sort of bigger computers to do them.
Yeah.
Well, you say that, but like things like, although you're going to need bigger ones, they always find ways to make all this stuff even smaller.
Yeah, I just feel like we're going to hit a wall at some point, and we're going to have to go back to the times where we had computers the size of rooms to power some of these future crazy.
That's why you buy this house. Well, my computer doesn't fit in my house.
Yeah. All right.
We'll see.
Yeah. Project X Cloud. Dan might be able to give it a go. We'll keep you
Yeah,
posted
I'll try and
next
give it a
week.
shot before next week.
Yeah.
Cool. Last of Us 2, we saw a brand new trailer for it at the PlayStation reveal, which
I bet Ben's definitely got a cheeky stiffy right now.
it looked so good.
Mate, it's not even cheeky. It's just prominent. It's just.
Yeah,
it's just there.
It looks so good.
It looks
but
phenomenal.
What I really loved
Phenomenal.
the sound of was the first game was 25 years? 25 hours of gameplay. I don't know what years game. 25
We're still
years.
playing it now. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just running in the background. Yeah.
25 hours or so, I believe.
No, it's
this
about
one
15.
they're saying-
It wasn't 25, surely.
Okay. Yeah, 15 to 20 then. Let's say
Yeah.
15 to 20. Last of Us 2 is going to be, I think, one of the only PS4 games that spans over 2 Blu-ray
Yeah.
discs, which is crazy.
Wait,
and
what?
it's going to be significantly longer, which is really interesting for such a narrative-driven game to be potentially in the 30 to 40-hour mark.
That is very,
Solid.
very long for a narrative game.
Isn't it?
Like,
You don't often see something like that, especially from Naughty Dog.
I'm almost as much as I love Naughty Dog, I'm almost a little bit worried about shut up, about how long it is, because that is a long like.
Yeah.
I'm worried that it's going to drag a bit. Like The Last of Us 1 was like the perfect length. God of War I found too long personally. For example,
You know what I'd say? Yeah, I'd say considering the producers of the first one and how obviously that good they made the game, I can't imagine that they're gonna.
I'm just.
I get what you mean, because sometimes they can push their limits and they can go from like a lot of TV series. They're like it's good, it's brilliant. You're loving it, and then it gets to a point and you think to yourself, okay, now you're gonna have to start kind of coming this to an end. Like, I mean, like, what is it, Walking Dead right now? They it's just episode after episode, season after season, and it's like you kind of want them to have that final bit. You want them to get to that final stage, because it's just dragging now.
Well, they're master writers, so hopefully they're not dragging it on for unworthy reason. I feel like there's a good purpose behind the length of this game. I hope.
I hope so as well. I mean, if they can make it anywhere close to the good as the first one, you got yourself a winner, ain't you?
Yeah, it looks amazing. We'll talk about it.
It's going to be amazing. Like, there's no. Yeah, we'll talk about it when we talk about State of Play.
Yeah.
Right, let's move on a bit quicker.
Yeah, let's power through some of these, because
Yeah.
most people are going to find these boring. This next one's kind of tech news more than gaming news, but some PC gamers might be interested. AMD, for the first time in 5 years, have hugely outsold Intel in their standalone CPUs. In Asia, I believe this is, which is actually crazy, because AMD is the chipset that's going to be powering both of the next-gen consoles.
Oh, cool.
And for the last several years, the console sales have basically kept them afloat. Like, in terms of AMD versus Intel in CPU sales, they haven't come close. Yeah, I just think that's an interesting tidbit. Their Ryzen technology is doing really, really well.
Again, good competition.
Really promising sign.
Making things better.
Finally, yeah, we've been waiting for it for so long.
Yeah,
so
needed.
Really happy about that. Yeah, 7 nanometer is the future. Next one, some people, I don't really care about this one too much, but
a lot of people do though. Yeah.
Shenmue 3, the demo should be this weekend, but it will be weekend just gone if you're listening to this.
So go and download it, guys.
Thinking about it. And this is actually a rumour. At the time of me saying this, it's rumoured to be coming this weekend, so we'll know whether I'm talking nonsense or not by the time you hear this. So yeah, if you want to go check it out, go check that one out. Some people have been pumped for that for ages. Another subscription service. These seem to be all the rage these days.
Yeah, man.
Google Play
Love it,
Pass. The Google Play Pass is 350 Android games and apps for $4.99 a month. To be honest, I haven't had a proper look through the collection. There seems to be a pretty good variety on there.
It's a lot of old games though. I think they've missed the mark. Where like the same thing with Stadia, where they're just like, oh, release old games or no exclusives or anything, and then Apple Arcade has taken the other route and gone for newer or exclusives or things like that. So
I mean, it's got some pretty good titles on there actually. I mean, it's got Monument Valley. I think that one's cool. They got Limbo. They got some Star Wars stuff.
It's got Stardew Valley on there as well.
Oh yeah, Stardew Valley. So
good
for $5 a month, if you play a lot of Android games or mobile games, that's
in general, I think that's a pretty decent.
It's a pretty good deal.
Yeah,
if you're somebody that's going to make use of it, why not? So yeah, good stuff. Yeah. Subscription models, I think, are good stuff. Okay, this one's really interesting. So Steam have had to allow the resale of games in France, and this is only in France at the moment, but it's the first country where you will be able to take a game in your Steam library and sell it on to somebody else, almost as if you were taking it into a second-hand store. I think that's really interesting.
It is. It's that standard question of like, who owns it once you buy it online? What are your digital rights? I'm sure I said this last week as well. What are your digital rights? So, and the thing I find funny, I'm starting to really dislike Valve as a company, to be honest, and I find it quite hilarious that their argument against this was, it's a subscription service. You're subscribing for the license of the game. That was their argument. And it's just like, nah. That's just a bullshit excuse, man. There's no, So I think this could,
paves the way.
Yeah, but it could resonate throughout all of EU because they're using EU laws. None of this is just France. This is all Europe. So
hashtag let me sell my games.
Yeah. Hashtag stop Brexit so I can sell my games.
Hashtag let me sell my games. I think that's brilliant. It does almost add a sense of ownership, as you say, to the things that you buy on Steam.
Yeah.
So actual digital ownership of something that you've bought. I don't know how it's going to work pricing-wise, whether you can pick the price or whether there will be some kind of set price.
I don't think it'll be a set price. I think it'll probably be similar. If it even happens, it'll be similar to their thingy one, won't it? The skins and stuff that you sell, like an auction marketplace style thing.
I mean, Steam are going to want full control over the actual distribution and moving around of the CD keys, so they're not going to allow you to take one of your games, convert it back into a CD key, and then just disappear with it. It's going to be like moving it from one account to another.
But then the other side of this is that, do you know what their fine is if they don't do anything?
Oh yeah, it's tiny. It's like
of course they're not going to do anything. €3,000, €3,000 a day for 6 months. Like
they've lost the fight. They're actually doing it. It's been.
Oh, they've actually lost the fight.
Yeah, they've been forced to do it.
Damn, man, that's mad.
Yeah, so it's actually happening in France, which is that's what I'm saying. It's really, really interesting. I hope I'm not wrong about that. I'm going to sound really stupid, but that's what I understand. Let's move on from that. I've got one more little bit. Oculus Quest. So this is like the wireless Facebook VR headset. there was just a cool little progression with the technology recently. Facebook have worked out a way to use the inside-out cameras to track just your hands without controllers.
Oh, really?
Which I think is a really cool step for VR. It means that although they're saying that having controllers is the best way to interact with the virtual world, you can, I think they're releasing this in about a year's time, you'll be able to just use your hands and fingers and actual sort of natural hand gestures to interact with the virtual world. And I think that's kind of a step in the direction that we're all looking towards, I think. Yeah, cool little bit. That's it for me, really. Kevin, what you got? Type. Kevin's quickly writing his news articles now.
Has he just broken it? Is he dead? Or has he muted his mic again?
So last week... Oh my god. I swear I unmuted it. Oh, whatever. Yeah, so last week we spoke a bit about cheaters and stuff, and how it's there's just such a so many people nowadays want to get that upper hand and that, and quite a big thing as well with that came out was where I think Dan spoke a bit about the new WoW coming out, and with that there was a lot of DDoSing, which if people don't really know about it, it's basically people booting other people off of the internet, essentially.
In layman's terms, yeah.
Yeah, so that it's affecting their play, and it makes you not be able to get on for a bit, I think, as well. Makes you, you got to wait quite a while for your internet to kind of, come back and, be able to play. And there was a lot of it happening for this game.
Dan's getting
people doing this
again.
to reduce the queue times so they can get in.
Oh, is that why they did it?
I don't know. I'm asking.
Oh, I mean,
it,
it could make sense.
You're not going to get much of an advantage in the game, are you? So
no.
But
I guess a lot of people class DDoS as being cheaters almost, because. But anyway, where this was becoming quite a big thing on World of Warcraft, someone actually got arrested. One of these people got arrested, which is. I see it as I guess, almost telling these people that DDoS, we can find you, and things will happen to you. But
you're gonna hunt them down.
But I feel like there's so much more time and effort to be put into the world. There's so much more important things happening than you. I know it's not cool being kicked off of your internet and stuff, and I guess if it's affecting tons of people, it is obviously a big thing that's happening. But I mean, there's so much people's time can be used in such better places, in my opinion.
Yeah, I literally said this to Charlotte earlier about Brexit, and I was like,
"Oh God,
can we just not do it anymore so that the government can talk about other things?"
They just talk.
Yeah,
and it's just, it's painful. And then, I say our last news point would be, that Kojima, if I've said that right, could be wrong, and Keanu Reeves could possibly work together again. Obviously everyone loves Keanu Reeves. Their first, the game they had together was really successful. Everyone loved the style that the game was. It was just,
Hold on, what game are we talking about here?
The game with them two together.
What game?
So Keanu Reeves is going to be in Death Stranding? That's the only game that he's working on, as far as I'm aware.
Well, it's a possible working together again, because they had a game previously together.
Oh my god, Dan, this is really awkward. Dan.
Why?
I think he's got names mixed up. Are you talking about Norman Reedus, Kevin?
No, I read it online. On Reddit. They were saying it's a possible
Yeah, but you're saying work together again. What have they worked together on?
What was it? Wasn't Keanu Reeves in the game recently?
Cyberpunk.
Yeah. Did Kojima
That's
make
not
that?
Kojima. No, that's CD Projekt Red.
To do with Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Unless it was for the fact that everyone likes Keanu Reeves, and then I saw that.
He's a sensation.
Yeah, and then whatever Kojima made, it was maybe maybe I misread it. It being the fact that they might be working together. They could be working together on something.
Cool. Yeah, no, I'm sure I saw a picture of those two together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I saw. Yeah, I think that was what.
I just thought because you said doing another game with him, and I was like, well, his studio's only done one game. And that's Death Stranding, and he's not in Death Stranding. So has he got the name mixed up with Norman Reedus? But,
No. It was just honestly something I read. Like it's, just a bit of news. I'm not that.
Yeah, that could be cool. I mean, I don't know how much Keanu Reeves actually adds to a game personally, but I guess we'll find out with Cyberpunk. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, what about a Fallout 76 one?
This is so funny. This actually.
Yeah, so I saw that. So there's a collectible item, a Fallout 76 collectible item of helmets that got recalled because they were decaying, I believe, inside.
They were a health and safety risk.
Yeah.
So you know how much trouble Fallout 76 had, right?
But
the internet turning against them.
But then it was for the fact that it wasn't actually Bethesda who made them and gave them out, but Fallout 76 obviously did give these people the authorization to make them and sell them. So obviously there's...
But you had the issue with the Nuka-Cola bottle.
Yeah, oh my.
That, made.
That was
and
so
that came
funny.
in
Honestly,
that horrible plastic
Bethesda's
case. And then you had the canvas bag that was made out of some rubbish, like...
And then they wouldn't even give them a refund or something about it, wouldn't it?
It was an absolute nightmare. This is just... it's so funny.
How are Bethesda
failure.
still floating after Fallout 76, man?
I think they were lucky that they had a lot of dedicated fans.
Bethesda fans are so weird. Like, any other fan of any other game, you'd just be well pissed off. But Bethesda fans are like, no, they had good intentions. And they're just like, No.
I love Skyrim. I love the Fallout series, but no, they fucked up.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
Cool. Alright, Kevin, we're going to quickly jump on. So I know we did say this is going to be a short show, but there's been so much news this week. It's not our fault, okay?
We'll try and finish this up in like a half hour, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll try our best. Yeah, we've still got 27 sections to go, but we'll try our best. Yeah.
Yeah.
So moving on to what we had for breakfast today, Kevin. All right, PlayStation State of Play. We'll very, very quickly run through that because me and Dan both watched it together.
Oh, but we can't go too quick. Like there are a couple.
No. We'll run through the yeah. Okay, humanity. Basically.
Wait.
What am I waiting for?
Sorry. No. Go on. Try and explain this one.
Right.
So Kevin,
this is impossible to explain.
Just to set the scene, right?
Yeah.
We haven't seen anything yet. The PlayStation logo comes up, I think, for a second, and then this is what we see. Go on, Ben. Do your best.
Right. So there's loads of people, like hundreds of people, and they're all sort of like wobbling about, and then like they're like moving around, and then they sort of move up ramps, and then there's like they have guns or they're throwing their phones or something at other people, and then there's like loads of people that are like look like they're good people, and loads of people that look like they're bad people, and they go up ramps, and the bad people try and attack them, and the good people throw their phones at them.
What?
I've got absolutely no idea what this game is. Kevin, did you ever play Lemmings?
No. Wait. So PlayStation State of Play is a game. What?
No, Kevin.
Oh my God, he's so far behind. He doesn't even know what we're talking about.
Okay, so what?
Okay, go on.
What I thought State of Play
Kevin.
was essentially what the inside Xbox was, but the PlayStation version.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
that's it.
Like the way you were explaining it to me was PlayStation State of Play was a game.
No, this is how it started.
People walking
This is
up ramps.
literally how the event started.
That's what I do.
Okay. Right. So let me have a go.
Wait,
on
so
this one.
so this was actually a game that they're releasing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so State of Play
okay.
starts, and this
So-
is the first game. Yeah.
So the way it starts is, remember the music, Ben? It was like this really kind of slow, trip hoppy, weird, like
spacey sort of vibe.
yeah, but it had this very kind of strange, ethereal feel to it. So it wasn't like fast paced actually sequence or anything like that. And it starts with like a big crowd of people on the left of. None of them have got any faces, and it's like top down view, and there's thousands and thousands of them. And on the left, you've got people all wearing black shirts or something, and on the right, they're all wearing like red shirts or something. And the first thing you see is just these crowds walking towards each other, and they just start like merging into each other. So you just get this really weird kind of visual. And then, yeah, as Ben said, it just jumps between all these really weird sequences where they're all running in these huge crowds of people are like running up ramps and jumping through portals and doing like tower defense stuff and leaping over walls. It kind of feels like
Like Mirror's
like
Edge.
a swarm
Mirror's Edge.
simulator.
Mirror's Edge.
Sorry, Kev, did you get Mirror's Edge from that?
You said jumping over things and
Oh yeah. The tons of people. Yeah,
Imagine
Mirror's
Mirror's
Edge.
Edge with like thousands and thousands and thousands of people that you're controlling at the same time. Yeah, it's like a swarm simulator, and they all act like a swarm, and you can. There seems to be all these different game
so
modes.
do we know what game this is?
Nope.
It was called Humanity, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, we know the name of it. It's Humanity, but I have absolutely
We know
no idea what it
nothing
is.
else about
Yeah.
it. It was so weird.
Very
it was
odd.
the weirdest start to reveal I've seen for a long time.
Yeah. So moving on, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. It showed a story trailer, and the story trailer did look pretty good. It's very, very focused around Captain Price. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks good. Graphics look very nice. If it's in game engine, then that would be dope. But I already know it's not because I've played the game, so I don't even know why I've put that here. And then I've put here Special Ops Survival Mode, and I was like, oh, cool. It looks like a Horde mode. And then I of course, the news came out that it's exclusive to PS4 for a year, so I was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
So that's a shame. And then after that, we have Katamari Watam, which I don't like the look of. Dan doesn't like the look of, and Kevin, you will hate it with fire passion.
I don't know. So, Kevin, this is a game about sentient pebbles with faces and a walking nose, and
He's not going to
a
like
dice
it.
with a 9
There's
on
no
every
way
side,
you'll
and a
like it.
mushroom, and a toilet, and a flower, and a poo, and a phone, and some rings, and just like 1,000 random sentient objects with faces.
Yeah, it's
And
basically like the Emoji Movie in game form.
Well, okay.
It
looks
super
shit.
weird.
Right.
Not my cup of tea.
No, not at all. Next one was the highlight. Okay,
Yeah,
Arise.
me, it was it too.
This looked sick. So it
You
looked.
sure it didn't look phenomenal?
No, I've moved on from that word. Okay, my word of this week is going to be sick, dope, and
Sick.
phenomenal. Were last week's. I'm going to use sick and stunning this week. I think.
Perfect.
So the music was stunning. Yeah, like the music was just so good, man. Like I can't. Charlotte was in the room, my wife, and she was listening to it, and she was like, "This music is amazing," and I was like, "Yeah." It had serious Journey vibes, like proper
Yeah,
no
big time.
dialogue, storytelling, sort of Journey-ish vibes. Yeah, really cool art style, kind of like toy vibe, if that makes sense.
Yeah, there were some scenes that made it feel like you were a little person, just like a normal sized person in like a mountain range, and then there were other scenes that looked like the tree trunks that you were looking at were actually like the stems of flowers, so that you were really, it's really hard to get a sense of what sort of scale.
Yeah,
it
the
was
scale
playing at,
was weird. Yeah.
but really interesting.
Yeah, but I've wrote here well up for it, so
That's what else you want,
Yeah.
eh?
exactly.
It looks like it's going to be like story driven. You start off as like a Viking that seems to be rising from the dead or something, and you're going on this journey of sorts, and there's mountains and beautiful environments. And
Yeah.
you're flying and gliding, and it looks
Well, that
awesome.
sounds pretty good.
Yeah,
It
even
looks really
even
nice,
just for the
yeah.
music, it looks like just to
Is it
play
multiplayer?
that sort of adventure
Yeah.
thing. No,
I
I
think-
doubt it'll be multiplayer. I think it's just
Proper experience that'll be. I think.
yeah. So next there was a VR section where they just banged out like 50 VR games or something. I only managed to write down 3. There was LA Noir VR case files, which basically just looks like a smaller scale version of LA Noir, but in VR.
Sounds like it'd be like Sherlock
Been
out
Holmes,
for a
but
while
his
on
point of view.
Oculus, hasn't it?
I think it might be already out, yeah. But I guess it could be really good because I know the game has had a big focus on facial animations, and you interrogate people and you sort of make your assumptions according to how they react to things and stuff. So I guess that could be quite cool in VR. Not really my cup of tea personally. The other 2 I had written down was Aspire 1, which looks like Splinter Cell in VR, which looks bloody cool, I have to say. Like that looks.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that's the sort of game I want to play in VR, like being a sneaky little ninja in VR.
It'd be so good,
Yeah,
like
big
to like
blast,
actually
shooting.
almost be a ninja, but being like
Yeah.
you see what they see.
Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, like you're climbing up things and proper Splinter Cell vibes, you know, like creeping around above people and eavesdropping and whatnot. Yeah, it looks good. There was another one called After the Fall, which looks like a zombie game, but not as crap as Arizona Sunshine. Yeah, I mean, it just looks like a zombie game in VR, which in theory should be good, but Arizona Sunshine was awful, so I dubious about it. Yes. Mr. Daniel, did you get any other VR ones done?
Yeah, there was one called Space Channel 5 or something, kind of funky news, which looked like a really weird dancing game or something. I don't.
Yeah, it looked weird. Yeah.
It's all in the mind.
The rapper VR would be
oh my days.
God,
game changer.
Imagine him in 2D.
Man, Parappa the Rapper would be like my best friend, man. If he was in VR, I would just hang out
You'd
with him
never
all
leave.
the time.
You'd just like sit and cuddle with him and watch soap operas.
What?
It's a weird fantasy, man.
The other one that I saw was Stardust Odyssey, which is like a space combat type thing, but it looked like it had an actual story. I might be mistaken, but I think there was already a Stardust game back in the launch window with the PSVR, which was like an arena shooter, but you could fly in all directions. It was actually like tons of fun. I might be getting this mistaken with another game. I think it was Stardust.
Isn't Stardust a game? I might think of a different game. Hold on. Stardust is an old game. Bloody hell! It came out in '93.
Oh, it's not the one I'm thinking of then.
No, it is. No, it is the one I'm thinking of. It's called Super Stardust. It was that one that came out when the PS3 came out, and you're on like circle planets and you go around it. It's like a bullet hell game.
Oh,
really popular. It was really good actually. Yeah. So that in VR would be sick, to be honest. But
it's not that. It's actually like you're in the cockpit though. Flying around with joysticks and that sort of stuff. Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun actually. That was probably my standout of the VR showcase, to be honest.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I think the Splinter Cell one was probably mine, but I mean, none of us have VRs right now, so it's not really applicable to us. But then they showed off Medieval. Kevin, have you ever played Medieval?
I have, and I was a big fan of one of them. Like,
It's
I used
so
to play
good,
that
isn't it?
online non-stop.
Yeah. So that looked really nice. The graphical uphaul looks very similar to like Spyro and Crash Bandicoot. And
I actually saw a little bit of the gameplay today in person. I saw the first 5 or 10 minutes or so. It's proper retro. Like it's almost like a reskin of the original PlayStation 1 game, but smoothed out a little bit. You know.
Yeah, it was very clunky before, wasn't it?
But I think a lot of people will have a lot of fun with that. I think I'll end up playing that.
Yeah, it was a solid game as well, to be fair. So I mean,
it's got a good sense
you
of
could
humour.
pretty much do a HD remake of it, and it'll be good in itself probably. So and then they were like, oh, and now we have a brand new, not brand new, like a very well loved game finally coming to the PlayStation 4. And we were like, oh, and it was Civ 6. Yeah, cool. Civilization 6 on PS4. I've written here PS4 edition. Cool, I guess. Yeah, not much to say about that.
Some people will love it.
Some people will love it, yeah. Like I'm sure Adam would love it if he was a PS4 player.
Yes.
Yeah. And then
we got
trolled really hard. Yeah. So Death Stranding came up and it was like, now a surprise from PlayStation 4 or something it said. And the picture of Death Stranding came up and we were like, oh, okay. I think I was like, should we be watching this? Because we're supposed to be keeping in the dark about this game. But luckily it was okay. And it basically a PlayStation 4 and controller came up and it was just a skin.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, you guys are dicks, man. And
it did look pretty cool.
It did. Dan, you can speak about whatever's left. Go. My voice is hurting.
So the next one was called After Party, made by the developers of Oxenfree, which was famous for having a really, really good dialogue system where you could talk to people and interrupt them and have like proper discussions with people. It's sort of a side-scrolling game with a nice cartoony art style where you go to hell and are met by Satan, and it seems to be like a university type vibe. Where there's bars and there's drinking games and there's parties with all these like demonic beings and arm wrestles and karaoke, and it seems to have a really kind of witty sense of humor about it.
Yeah, I'm
think it
definitely
looks really
I'm gonna pick this up. Yeah, it's definitely called Beat. The tagline is "Beat Devil in a Drinking Game." So,
I didn't even see that.
But in better words than that, it's just what I've written.
Oh yeah, they said outdrink Hell's Monarchs, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah,
looking forward to that.
Pretty cool slogan.
Yeah.
What else we got? PS Plus. Oh god, I feel kind of bad here. People are going to hate me for this. I kind of saw this reveal of the new PS Plus game, and I was like, "Oh god, it's a cricket game!" And then about 10 seconds later, I realised it was actually baseball. Tell the two apart.
Sorry, American viewers out there.
Yeah.
So it's a baseball game,
And English players.
Not interested in that at all. Not interested in that at all, really. And then they closed up with The Last of Us. Oh no, they didn't. Sorry, they actually said that they were going to do The Last of Us remastered as the PS Plus game for October, which is free for all PS Plus owners. And then they went on to The Last of Us 2 reveal, which was a really nice kind of, what was it, Ben? 3 or 4 minutes, maybe?
Not even that, like 2 or 3 minutes. Yeah, it was short, but it was short and sweet. Like they had a little reveal in there, which was really nice. So
yeah, it looked really good. Like, you kind of have to watch it, but the environments looked amazing, and the people and the dialogue between people, and it looked violent as fuck. Like, I feel like every time I kill a bad guy in that game, I'm going to feel bad about it because it just looks proper horrific. But I think that's what they're going for. So
yeah, it looks like a proper revenge story, basically.
Because you kind of hear her at the start going no, and then going off on this rampage. So something happens to the person that she talks to at the start. And this isn't really a spoiler, but at the end of it, you see Joel from the first game. He pops up.
Yeah, because it's always been, no one's known whether Joel's going to be in it or not.
Because you haven't seen him in any of the trailers so far. I don't think he's even been mentioned.
No, so I've just written here in capitals, Joel is back, baby.
Joel is back.
Yeah, so very exciting. All in all, the state of play was a bit underwhelming as per usual.
I don't know. I thought it was pretty good for a 20-minute presentation.
It was okay. It was okay, but it was nothing new. You know, like they showed off a few little nifty VR games and the Arise game, which was the highlight and stuff. But I don't know. There was just nothing big. They need to, they're missing out on things like E3. Yeah, they're missing out on things like E3 and moving over to this form of advertising. You know. So no more conferences at the minute, and they're basically going, right, we're going to be doing directs instead, like Nintendo do, and it's fine. But they've just, I feel like they're getting lazy, to be honest. I just feel like they're so far in the lead that they're just, they announced their Spider-Man, Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima, and Death Stranding. They announced in 2018 E3. Not announced, that they were the only 4 games they showed. And they haven't announced any massive exclusives since then. It just feels like those are the 4 games and they're not really doing anything else, to be honest. So, yeah, a bit underwhelming, but it was alright. Anyway, let's move on because we're
running.
I mean, what are we at now? The 2-hour mark. So, yeah, let's quickly run through what we've been playing.
Oh, alright.
Who wants to start? Mr. Dan?
Yeah, sure. I played 2 games this week. One of them's a pretty old game, like 6 years old. But I'm really excited to talk about that one, actually. The other one was a pretty new game called Ape Out, made by the dude that made Hotline Miami. The first, 5 minutes I played, to be honest, I kind of thought it was a bit boring. Like, the environments were really bland. It had a really nice art style to it, like the moving visuals and kind of that weird, almost psychedelic, trippy kind of vibe that Hotline Miami had.
Yeah.
Kind of like that. Really cool top-down perspective where you can't really see around corners. It was really clever. You're basically a gorilla that escapes from a cell and has to escape by picking up guards and throwing them through windows and punching them into walls and stuff.
Oh, this
just
game.
as gruesome as the first game. Yeah, the first 5 minutes I wasn't too sure about, but then the second chapter of the game, you go into an environment that's a bit more interesting, like a skyrise type thing. And you basically run through office blocks and picking people up and chucking them out the window and watching them fall 40 stories. And yeah, it's got a really interesting kind of pacing to it. You're always escaping. You always feel like you're running away from all these people that are trying to hunt you and catch you and put you back in a cell. But it's got, I don't really want to say roguelike, but it's got that kind of, you die, you repeat, you respawn really, really quickly, and you repeat, and you just get a little bit further each time. You know what I mean? Like, there's that gradual progression to it, and that satisfaction when you clear a stage. I'm interested to try the hard mode. I do think it was a little bit easy. I got like 3/4 of the way through the game in one sitting, but yeah, I think people should check it out. It's on Xbox Game Pass. It's free. You can't really go wrong with it. Really nice controls, really responsive. Yeah, I think check that one out.
Did you complete it?
No, about 3/4 of the way through. I only played a few hours of it, maybe 2 or 3 hours. But it's totally worth picking up if you just want one of those almost mindless, subtly puzzle-ish type games. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think the guy's a really, really talented developer, and he deserves all of the credit that he got for Hotline as well as this. So the other game I've been playing is a game called Brothers: Tale of Two Sons.
Yeah.
This is genuinely, it's an old game. It's like 6 years old. It is showing its age a little bit, but visually it really does have some proper, like, memorable moments. The scenery is stunning. The whole game is framed around this language. It's kind of like Sims, where they all speak in a kind of alien language that you don't understand, but you get a sense of what they're saying by the mannerisms, but it's done really well to tell the story. So throughout the entire game, you play as two characters, two brothers. The game starts off, their dad is sick and they're off to find a cure. You control each of the brothers. There's an older brother and a younger brother, maybe a few years apart, and each side of the controller controls one of the different characters. So on your left side, you've got one button for grabbing objects and interacting with the world, and the left analog stick to move. On the right, you've got the same for the younger brother. And
oh my god, that sounds disgusting.
It's really weird to control when you first pick it up. It's kind of like when you watch somebody who's never played a video game before with a console controller, pick up a controller and try and navigate a first-person game.
Wait, sorry, did you say you control one person with each analog stick?
Yeah.
Oh, bun that, man.
It sounds like, you know, playing Call of Duty on, like, inverted look.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly what it's like.
It's like when you jump on someone else's console and they play inverted and you go to play Call of Duty and then suddenly you're just like, what the hell?
You give the controller to your mum or something and she's trying to like shoot something and she's like spinning around in circles.
Oh, Jackie.
No, none of our mums is called Jackie. Where did that come from?
Hi, Lorraine.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so for the first part of the game, you're really uncoordinated, and there's a lot of kind of frustration trying to get your characters to sync, and then when they swap places on the screen, you're suddenly running in opposite directions, and there's this whole kind of weird sensation of controlling two at once. But as the game progresses, you do build up that synergy and the dexterity between your hands, and it becomes almost second nature, I guess, like it would be if you were learning to play piano or keyboard and you were playing two sort of octaves at the same time. It's kind of like that, and there's something interesting and rewarding about that. So the way you interact with the world is something I want to talk about because that's super interesting. Both of the characters that you play, the younger and the older brother, interact with the same objects in completely different ways. So the younger kid, I don't know, he looks like he's probably 10 or 12 or something.
Yeah.
He might walk up to a character when you interact with his side of the controller and play like rock, paper, scissors or give them a high five or something. And the older brother might go and ask them a question like, can you tell us what direction to go in? Like something a bit more
you've always got to decide what one you want to do.
It's interesting. There's not much to it. There's not really any real narrative-driven reason to interact with all these different things in the world. It's just really interesting. Like you might see a cat, the younger kid will pick the cat up and cuddle it and stroke it and play with it, and the older kid might just be a bit more blasé about it and lean over and stroke the cat or just sort of say hello in a different way. But that whole, you really get a sense of their personalities as you're playing in this world and how different they are. And as the game progresses, there's some really, really interesting puzzles where you need both of them. And I think the first puzzle type thing that you get is kind of like, do you remember Chuckle Vision, the old TV show?
Yeah.
It was like, to you, to me, and each guy would pick up one side of a ladder, and they'd have to like navigate around really tight corridors and things. It's like that, but it feels really nice to do it with the controls and using the physics engine that they've got and stuff. And there's all these really, really interesting puzzles as you go through the game. There's like a rock climbing puzzle later on where you're roped to each other, and one of you will have to let go and swing, and then the other one will have to kind of grab you as you swing around.
My lord!
We wanted to play that actually. So, and the world building is amazing. There's the pacing of the story is brilliant. There's some really beautiful light moments followed by some dips into really, really dark territory, which are then kind of lit up again by these beautiful landscapes and moments of freedom. And
I was going to say that, like, the graphics do look very unique,
They hold up. Yeah, as I say, it's made in Unreal and it's 6 years old now, but there are some absolutely stunning moments. There is one moment that... Can I spoil a bit about it? I mean, it's
6 years old.
Like I can spoil
let me just do a spoiler, but...
we're about to have a spoiler for Tales of Two Brothers and Sons.
Skip forwards 5 minutes.
Skip forward 3.5 minutes.
So there's a bit in the game where one of the environments that you're in is like the battlegrounds after a battle between giants, and you're literally walking around in these mountainscapes, climbing over and navigating your way around the corpses of these huge giant things, and all their weapons are laying next to them, and they've got arrows in them. Man. And there's a moment where you have to try and get past this corpse that's laying there, and you work out a way to, like, both of you find this huge crossbow, and you have to like grab the rope and pull it back. And the way that you control things is you hold down the triggers to grab onto it, and you let go to let go. It's as simple as that. But in moments where you're really holding on for your life, because your hands are getting kind of sweaty from all this dexterous movement, and you're really trying to keep hold of things, it does genuinely feel like you're holding on for your life at certain points. And it's this crossbow bit where you pull back the crossbow and you have to fire it, and it knocks this giant over. And then you drop an axe on the arm, and the arm gets severed up. There's some really like gruesome scenes, and the ending is absolutely heartbreaking.
Like, I've heard it's had like. It has
God! Like, you play the entire game. Serious spoilers here, guys. But you play the entire game.
That's right. I've spoiled about it. It's fine.
Are you going to play this? Because I won't spoil it. If you want to play it.
No, go on.
Sure.
Yeah, Kev, are you playing it?
Yeah, no, I'm playing.
Kev, you've got enough games to play. You don't need to play us.
So, I think you can see where this is going anyway.
One of them dies.
One of them dies. Yeah. But the way that they do it, because you've spent the entire experience learning, like, interacting between the two and watching the protective... You automatically fulfill the protective role of the older brother at the same time as the vulnerable role of the younger brother as you're playing it. And your mind is in two places at once, which is really, really an interesting experience. And because you're controlling both at once, you're in both of their like bodies at once. And when you lose one of them,
you feel lost.
You do, because you've lost half of your controller. Like you can literally play the rest of the game with one hand, and it's like taking away the jump button in Mario or something.
Yeah.
And suddenly,
I can see what you mean. That's horrible.
You're completely tied down, and it's really, really heartbreaking. They do it really well. I mean, put it this way: when one of them died, the older brother dies, and it's one of those like movie moments where he's so close to saving him, but he doesn't quite make it. He's a few seconds too late. All this kind of stuff, which is pretty sad in itself. But you're out in the middle of nowhere. It's just this little kid and his older brother out on a journey. And you literally have to bury the body in the game. You literally have to use the grab key to pick up the body of your older brother, drag him into the grave that you've just dug, and then push the soil over him whilst you're like breaking down in this game. Then you have to head all the way back home to find your sick dad. And oh man, it hits hard, and it doesn't end brutal. Well. It doesn't end on a happy note, really. I mean, I guess the only happy side of the ending is the younger brother matures a little bit and grieves, and then helps his father grieve about the losing of his son. But the way that they do it, the way that you're in two characters at once, and then you lose half of that, it's an experience that I've never had before in a game. I thought it was brilliant. There's no UI. It's very immersive. It's a really, really well built story and a really, really interesting world that you explore.
Yeah, it sounds really good. I mean, I think the only thing to put me off of it is that the creator was also the guy that created that Prison Break game that was garbage.
I didn't play that, so I didn't really have any expectations going
Yeah,
on.
I mean, I heard a lot of it, but apparently it's not very good at all. But then again, the reason a lot of people said it wasn't as good as they were hoping was because of how good this game was. So I shouldn't really use that as an excuse. But
Yeah.
No, it sounds really good though. Definitely.
Yeah, it was one of my. I'm not going to say game of the year because it's such an old game, but it's one of the
Yeah, you
most
definitely
interesting.
can't put this on your
No.
game of the year list.
No. It's definitely one of my most interesting games that I've played this year. Besides a couple of really, really weird levels, but I won't go into those.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that sounds really good. So you'd recommend? I guess it's dirt cheap now. I imagine.
I would. I mean, I can say I'd recommend it now, but people that want to play it have already had the game spoiled for them, so there's no point.
That's true, but if
playing it.
Yeah.
If they've skipped to this point exactly and they haven't heard the ending
Yeah.
of the game, which I just gave away, then yes, totally buy it or get it on Xbox Game Pass or something. It's a really
is
unique
it Game
experience.
Pass?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Damn it!
Yeah.
I shouldn't have listened to the spoilers. I didn't know it was free. I've already played it.
It's alright, we can edit it out so you forget.
What? That's not how it works.
That's how it works, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, cool.
I do really, really want to talk about my game I've been playing, which we spoke about last week, which is the Untitled Goose Game.
Yeah. What did you think?
It was the only game I managed to get to play this week, and there was about 3 moments in that entire game I thought I'd completed it because I was told how short the game was. And I was also told by Dan that you would both laugh at me if I didn't manage to complete it, and I've definitely spent more than that many hours playing this game.
Well, how long did it take you?
I haven't completed it yet, and I've probably spent a good 5-ish hours on it. Because I didn't... So there's this... I don't want to ruin it, but there's like moments where you get stuck. Well, actually, no. There's one specific moment you get stuck if you don't realise that you're stuck. Because you think there might be another way to get somewhere, but in reality you're actually just stuck in this place, so you can't go any further. But overall, the game... I think Dan was correct in saying that the length of the game was good. Like, it leaves you do wanting more, but you're happy with the amount that you got out of controlling a duck or a goose.
A duck.
A goose, yeah. And it's very you really have to think about how to complete the tasks, which I think is good. And also the game in itself, I think for how like good the game is, it's very simple, and I like that. I think it's very... It is something that, if you want a quick, easy game, just jump onto that. You can just piss off some people you want. The one thing I would say about it is that when you're in like one section, you get a list of things to do, yeah?
Yeah.
And you have to basically do that, do them tasks and stuff, and then you kind of get open the next area and you get a list of tasks to do in that area. But if you like quit the game and come back into it, if you complete one of them tasks again, it checks off off your checklist again. So although it saves what you did previously, you can redo these tasks even though doing the task means nothing. So the first time that happened to me, I thought to myself, wait, have I got to do everything all over again?
That's weird.
So it's definitely like a bug, I'm pretty sure. I can't understand why they'd keep it in the game, but it was definitely something that I found myself... not really... I was a bit confused at first. And also, if you get stuck on like one of the tasks and you have no idea what you're doing, my god, does it take you ages to understand. But overall, I honestly, if anyone wants just a quick, easy game, maybe, I mean, even get it now if you really want, but if you just wait a little bit, maybe they'll drop the price eventually.
It's quite expensive, yeah.
Yeah, for what it is, it's quite expensive, but I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think it was a very
You see, you're talking in past tense like you completed it, but you haven't.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, I think I'm on the last bit now. But...
Yeah. No, I think I was listening to the computer game show today, and James Farley was like basically described it as playing out a kid's storybook.
Yeah.
Like just about
understand it.
Like about a troublemaking goose, and everything's tame. Nothing's like, you're not killing anyone. There's no crazy gimmicks or whatever. It's just
true.
yeah. No, we'll pick it up at some point. But I'm glad you enjoyed it. We did think it was up your street. So, anything to add, Daniel?
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's definitely a very. I'm glad I read up about it, and I kind of like the from what you knew of it last week anyway, of saying about like it wasn't too long of a game and that you would be satisfied, and I completely agree with it. Like, So, and how about you, Ben? What have you been playing?
I've played loads this week, to be honest, but I'm not going to go through
Any
all
highlights?
of them. Lots of them are the same as last week, and my opinions haven't changed.
Oh, okay, so it's more like completing your...
Yeah, so I will talk about... I played a bit more Blair Witch and managed to get past that bit, the invisible wall bit, and it's still not great, to be honest. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. I'm going to try and push through and complete it, just because I feel bad for like talking this in it when it might not be as bad as I think it is, but so far it still is. So yeah.
Okay.
I did say I'll play some Apple Arcade, so I did download that. I just don't think I'm into mobile games, to be honest. I think when you...
I struggle with them, honestly.
Yeah.
I have literally no mobile games on my phone because I just think they're almost... You download them to think, oh, like, I've got a bit of time to spare.
Yeah.
But they're nothing special.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
I'd rather sit there and listen to some music on the way somewhere than play a game on my phone.
Yeah, like the times that I play it are like the only time I have to play it, I could be playing console games or PC games.
Yeah.
So why would I want to play like a dumb stripped down
what else?
version
Yeah,
of the
there's
game?
like, for example, like the way they released Fortnite on your phone and they released PUBG on your phone, and it's just like you look at them and you think like, why? Why would anyone bother spending time playing this pile of rubbish?
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Obviously, there might be some people out there that do quite enjoy it, but it just looks terrible, and I just don't understand. Like, I understand why they made the game and put it out there, because people, they just get money out of it, but I don't know why. I can't see why people spend so much time in these little games and stuff.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, I think it is quite nice because it's £5 a month or whatever it is, and it does feel like when you first got your iPhone or you first got your phone, and where games were actually quite good on mobile, where that whole pay to win sort of thing didn't exist. It kind of feels like that again, like nice, interesting games, I guess. Just wasn't really up my street. But if you're into mobile gaming and you miss the old days, then definitely give it a whirl, because it is definitely worth the money. I'd say that much. It's just not my sort of cup of tea, I also bought Guacamole. Don't know why I said
that. The weird, like, big Mexican dude.
Yeah.
I saw a little bit of that once. I was like, what on earth am I watching?
Yeah, it's. But I basically picked it up because I found out it was a Metroidvania, and I like Metroidvania games, so that was why. It was really good though. Like, I remember. So Charlotte was asking me what I thought of it, and I was like, "Yeah, it's all right. It's quite easy." And then suddenly there was just this difficulty spike where, like, so basically you have 4 types of attacks, like a smash down, an uppercut, a dash forward, and a standing still smash, and they all have a different colour. And then towards the end of the game, all the enemies have a shield of that colour, and you can only break that shield by using that certain attack. So you'll walk into a room and there'll be like 2 red ones, 2 blue ones, 2 yellow ones, 2 thingy ones, all in different places, and you have to use those certain attacks with limited stamina to break the shields to kill them and stuff. And it was a really interesting combat mechanic. Really it was nice and short as well. I think it took me 5 hours to complete. The platforming was really good. Like, the sort of puzzle aspect of the platform was dope. Oh shit, I said dope. Damn it. Highly recommend it though. I mean, I picked it up for like £5 on the Switch or something. It was on sale, and I was like, I'm going to see how I feel about this one because the second one was on sale as well. And then just as I completed it, the second one went off sale, so I didn't get the second one. But very good. I mentioned last week that Bloodstained Ritual of the Night was on Xbox Game Pass, so I played that. It's okay. I think it's like a spiritual successor to Castlevania, that sort of SNES style Metroidvania game. So the combat is very basic. You know, you have these special moves which are quite cool, but your normal, like the standard combat is very much run towards someone, press X to attack. That's it, sort of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay, I guess. Not like
nothing special.
Nothing special. I'll probably keep playing it because it's quite a nice, slow-paced sort of style platformy game, which is a nice change from the fast-paced guacamole sort of stuff. So yeah. And then finally, the last game is Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. We got.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah. So
Decent.
Me and Charlotte got it. Charlotte's mainly playing it, not me so much. I sort of pick it up every now and then.
What's she said about it?
She loves it. Yeah, it's great. It's got a few performance issues, so lots of frame rate drops, which is weird from a Nintendo game because normally they're optimized very well for their consoles.
Yeah, they do usually look pretty smooth, you know.
Yeah, but this one's got quite a few frame rate issues, which is a bit of a shame. But it's good. It is very nice. There's not much to say about it that you haven't seen. It's basically what it is, what it looks like in the trailers. It's like, you know, top-down, old-school style Zelda. Really nice graphics, really nice puzzle mechanics, but it's pretty much a take-for-take remake of the old game. So, yeah, very good. I'm enjoying. Charlotte's enjoying it, and I'm enjoying the tiny bits that I do play. But yeah, we'll
That's
sort
our
of
opinion on it.
yeah, we'll talk about it a bit more at some point. Yeah.
Shall I quickly? I can do this very quickly. The things that are coming out this week.
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
So Ben mentioned it earlier on. You've got Code Vein, which is it's a mix, basically like an anime vampire gothic horror grim type thing. It's an RPG. It's like a slice 'em up type jazz. Which is coming out. Ghost Recon Breakpoint, the open beta is coming out now because they had the alpha quite recently. And the open beta came out yesterday actually.
Oh, cool.
And I started reading some of the like improvements that they've done from alpha to beta, and there is just tons, endless. It's yeah.
Does that mean the alpha was really bad, or they've just?
I mean, from what you guys said that the alpha, you heard the alpha was quite bad.
What, Breakpoint?
No, there was something that I came out quite recently that I said I wanted to play with you guys, and you was like, "Oh, it looks rubbish."
Oh yeah, it does look rubbish. Yeah.
So there's been tons of improvements and stuff on it that they've quite liked. So there's that, and then there's you'll like this one, Ben. The Ori and the Blind Forest Deaf Edition is coming out.
Deaf Edition.
Yep.
Is it?
Apparently, if you're deaf,
why would I like
edition
that?
for you there? I don't really know. Maybe it's like
my favourite thing of that game is the music. Why would I like the deaf version?
Well, I mean, like, is there any speaking and stuff?
Well, no, but it's the music. There'll be. Well, do you mean deaf as in you can't hear? Yeah.
Yeah. If you can't hear, maybe it has like words on the screen or a person. I don't know.
I thought there's no dialogue in it.
Apparently, that's what's coming out. Okay, don't you know?
It's odd.
And then FIFA 20 came out today. So.
Oh, great! When are you picking
What
up?
are you FIFA out there? FIFA 20
after next Wednesday.
Yeah, man. Obviously.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Daniel.
Yes.
Daniel, who's here?
Your game for this week. Are you ready?
Yeah.
You excited? Well, not this week, but for the next 3 weeks anyway, you'll be playing. I feel like this, like it was a suggestion we had, and then we were like, yeah, that's pretty.
Pretty much straight away decided it. Yeah.
Yeah, we thought that would be a pretty good game for you to play. And Ben, would you like to?
So the game is Evil Within. So you did guess it.
I thought it would be a game that you both played, and I remember you guys raving about it quite a lot.
It is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if anything, the first one, in my opinion, is better than the second one.
Your opinion is correct, Kevin. Yeah.
It's really good, and it's one of them things that after I feel like it's almost actually, you know what, I won't give anything away. You go out there, you play it, you know what kind of stuff Ben's into, so you have some kind of idea that you probably like that area of it. So
yeah, it's like if you like Resident Evil, the 3D, you know what I mean, the over the shoulder one, third person, that's the one. Or Silent Hill is basically like if those two games had a baby, then this is the product, and it's very good. It can be a bit frame ratey, but we did play it on console. I think it is on PC. Yeah. So on PC, I imagine it'll be fine. But when we played it on console, it was a bit frame ratey. But you shouldn't have that issue, unless it's just a poorly optimized game. I don't know. So how do you feel about that, Mr. Daniel?
Yeah, pretty good. I was always kind of curious about it, but I think the technical issues that I heard about it put me off, and the whole letterbox view thing where they put the black bars at the top and the bottom was one of the bugbears.
Oh yeah,
I forgot about that. I didn't even notice it.
I imagine once you start playing it, you'll just look straight through it.
Yeah, I think you might struggle to get through the first couple of chapters because of things like that, where obviously it doesn't look the prettiest now. It's quite old, and the letterbox thing and stuff like that. But I think me and Kevin had the same thing. The first 3 chapters we did well slowly, and then after that we just banged out. It was so good. Yeah. It's like the closest thing to Silent Hill you can get without it being Silent Hill, pretty much. So yeah,
awesome.
Which means me next week.
Yes. So Daniel, me and you have to decide a game for.
That's not going to be that difficult, is it? Let's be serious.
No, it's not.
I feel like it's going to be that, like, what's that? Oh, God, I don't know what one it is. The one that's on Steam, that like little ninja guy, you're jumping around, that you said was really hard.
Hollow Knight?
No.
You won't guess this one. I think we've got an idea.
Have you already got yours?
To give you. We've got an idea or two.
Do we?
Oh, okay, Jesus Christ.
You won't guess them.
Did we have an idea?
Yeah.
Dan?
Yes.
What was your idea?
Oh, didn't we decide it straight away?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you still want to go with that one, then yeah, we did.
I can't even remember what it is, but obviously if I said yes instantly, it was obviously a yes.
Yeah,
so yeah, cool. All right, so Mr. Kevin, if anyone would like to love us and appreciate us and follow us and listen to all of the goodiness that we provide to the world and the stratosphere, what do they do?
Once again, you email us on praisethepicklepodcast@gmail.com. Send us any questions, if you agree with any of the things us today. Main thing I think we'd like is questions to respond to and just general feedback. Any feedback at all. And I understand again this week we didn't really follow our feedback considering we're this long into it. But
yeah, it was a lot of news.
As the podcasts go on, we'll get better at timekeeping. I think it's very it's difficult sometimes as well because you get honestly, it's games you can get so passionate about them, and it doesn't take much to get. You start talking about a game and you can just go on forever about it. You just you look at like both Ben and Dan, they look at every aspect of a game.
Well, yeah,
they look at the music, right? They look at every individual bit of it, and it's just so we'll get better at that part, but we do want to know what we'll get better at. We do have better mics this week, I hope the sound quality is better. It should be. And then also at praisethepickle, one word, on Twitter.
Yeah.
Tweet follow us, do all that good lovely jubbly stuff.
Yeah. Like I said, first 10 get a $10 Amazon gift card.
And Ben is lying,
or
he can pay it out of his own pocket.
I am still lying. Cool, yes. Thank you everyone for listening. There may or may not be a jingle now, depending on how the weekend goes. Praise the pickle.
Alright.
Laters.
Bye.